2, 1. Welcome back, Exiles, to Actually Though, the podcast where three bearded dads get together and push up their glasses and say, actually. We've got a lot to cover today. In fact, I don't know that we can really cover everything from this recent expansion because this is a doozy. Oh my lord, 05 is like the biggest by far. I think it's way bigger than when they did the like 5 additional acts thing. That just kind of like reads bigger, I think, on a marketing level, because it's a little bit harder to kind of piece together and, I don't know, have this be a physical thing in your mind because it's so many little different bits and pieces. But that's my feelings on it. How are you guys kind of feeling about it on the overall, like, is 050 the biggest expansion ever? Is it where does it sit in your hype levels compared to others in the past? Yeah, what about you, Lance? You're looking off to the sky.
Yeah, I
Francis, soaking a
mean,
soul.
I'm just thinking in terms of the Act 5 or the Act 5 through 10 when we got that. It was yes, like getting rid of all the extra acts and stuff. But the thing is I kind of doubt the quality of that is anywhere close
Hmm.
to the quality of the like pinnacle bosses on each of the league mechanics, each of the league mechanics having like individual story quest lines, all the unique art done for all these things. Like in terms of like the campaign, I would honestly put the Act 5 through 10 similar to them giving us like interludes in Act 4 in terms of like
Hmm.
quantity.
I feel like the
Considering it
polishing
was
the
like a lot
interludes
of
in
like
Act 4.
rehashed, like just slightly changed zones type of feel, like that sort of thing. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a lot bigger is what I'm guessing it'll feel like.
Yeah. What about you, Noogie?
So my hype levels do not match my feeling of the size. So I don't actually
Interesting.
feel that it's that much bigger. It doesn't feel bigger in what they've shown. Like I know
If you're
it's
actually though.
yeah, no, but my hype is off the charts because the restructuring of the game makes it way more interesting. But I don't think at least the campaign, and then you go into the X, and then you do the quest lines. I'm like, it's gonna feel more structured. It's gonna feel more like a real game. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. I think it's the PoE 1 coming in because I have played Breach before. I've
I get it.
played a lot of these things before. I've tried the follow the thing in a line and it progressively gets harder before. Everything we've tried before, if you come from PoE 1.
It's familiar. Yeah, I get that. There's
Do
not
you not
like a
put any
whole new thing out of nowhere here.
The
put any
pinnacles at
stake
the
Really, I
in
end
get
are
it.
like
really
having
cool.
4 new like pinnacle endgame bosses?
Yeah. No, it's great. It's big. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, it's the biggest thing coming to
Yeah.
PoE
It's not
2.
big though. I don't know. That's crazy.
It's like. I mean, it does feel as big as like coming out with any of the previous PoE 1. What do you call them? Like full expansions. You know, when they went from point 2, point 3. Like it feels as big as that. And I think
I
You don't
Go
think
ahead.
you think those were
I
smaller?
disagree strongly. Yeah, I think it is not even close. I'm just when you said bosses, I'm like, oh man, it's not even close. Like in the past when they released like 4 bosses, it's like 4 kind of like mini bosses, you know? They're like four captains of a guard or something like that. And there's not that much to them necessarily. Well, I guess like the recent example in Path of Exile 1 would be the what was the bloody mechanic with the pedals, and then that had its separate bosses that you would go and encounter. Like those bosses were just kind of like fine little bosses, but they weren't like big boss
I
content
mean, they're
really, I
kind of
don't
like
think.
rehashes of stuff we already had too.
Yeah, they weren't that different to like say the Hydra and the Chimera and that. Like that's what I kind of like think of whenever I think of like, oh, here's like 4 new kind of like late end game bosses. This is not even close to the like new bosses that they've got for each of these like
I mean,
pinnacles.
the production of these bosses are definitely much better. There's no doubt.
So
Like they're
much more.
way cooler. But like that is not a boss fight. Does not make much more of a game. It's the thing you want to have and you want to experience. But as like we're grinding the end game, you know, it I think it's just because we've went through so like over like 14 years of us having like 4 new sets of bosses, 4 new sets of bosses. And it's like every time it's like it's very exciting when you get them, but it's not what makes the whole thing.
That's crazy, dude. I mean, for me, I feel like that's one of my favorite things is when they add new bosses. When we had Exarch Eater being the end game content for like 3 years straight, I was like,
Mhm.
this drought is horrible. I can't wait for them to
Mm.
give us some more end game bosses. But like, okay, let's say it's not the bosses are enough. What about like all the new base types they're adding to breach crafting? What about the part where they're giving these entire rune system of additional mod pool or additional things you can do with crafting because you can have they showcase like an extra suffix rune or the specific influence types. What about like the delirium oil special annoyance or what you can do crafting jewels now because we didn't have really any tools to
Mhm.
craft jewels before this. Like there's a ton of stuff, not just like I mean that's got to count for something, right?
No, it all counts. Like here's the thing. So I think my like hype level is like off the charts. I feel like I don't know why, but it's like I feel like PoE 2 was like barely scraping by on content. And like I really felt like there was a lot of just stuff missing that shouldn't be
Yeah,
missing. So it's like there's just this expectation I have about like there's this like I've already envisioned all the things that were I don't know, it's just to me it doesn't it's like it's big, but it's like it feels like we're finally getting to where we should have been or like to where the game needs to be. And that's good. It's I don't know. It's all the I think the all the crafting stuff I expected to come. All the league stuff, a lot of it seems like it's polished stuff that they've been this like it's like PoE 1 stuff that's finally come together and been put into PoE 2. Like they've finally decided in which format they're putting it into PoE 2. But to me, this still feels as if it's the same thing. Like if I'm going into Breach, I'm fighting Breach. It doesn't
Your
feel
heart gotta please
feel
me.
new to me.
Your
We're gonna
heart
have to
gotta
see if you
impress,
feel it
dude.
feels new 2 weeks into the league after you've like gotten to actually play it. Watch the reversal. 2 weeks in, Nugi's like, "This is new," and I'm gonna be like, it's not that good." They
No, it's gonna
dropped
be
the ball.
great. It's gonna be amazing. I'm not like because okay. So I think it's because there was this like, oh, we're getting 5 new leagues in one league. I'm like, calm down. It's still Breach. It's still Delirium. It's not like they created Breach from the ground up. Like the structure is still
Like a
there.
completely brand new thing we never played before.
Yeah. That was like that's the way I've been like hearing people talking about like, oh, it's so big. It's like you can't even fathom it. But it's like we've seen most of it.
It's I feel like the end game is just like unrecognizable compared to the previous end game though. Like it's not even I'm not even like thinking about the previous end games. They're completely dead to me. Like this just seems like apart from the, the Atlas map looking similar, I don't think there's really any any real crossover between what we had before and what we have now.
You're still
But
gonna
the
run
entire end
tablets. You're still
games.
gonna like chase for lineage gems. You're gonna go for your
Oh yeah,
fortresses.
bro,
You're gonna set
we're
up the
still doing maps in the
bosses.
end game. I know, right?
Like, but I mean, it's like
It's completely different, man. Like the entire endgame, like main loop thing from before, from previous leagues, is like a piece of side content now, and not even like one of the main pieces of side content. It's one of the sub main pieces of side content. It's one of the 3 extra layer masters that are thrown in. The entire endgame got relegated to being that tiny little bit, that tiny little fraction of it. Wild. It's wild. But
I
I'm
don't know.
curious then.
I don't see it that way. I just don't.
I'm curious then, what are we most excited about or thinking about the most with this and what we've seen so far, Nugi? What has been the thing that's got you most excited?
What makes me the most excited? I think it's just the totality of it. It seems cohesive. and it seems more just better thought out. I think that's like that is the thing that really just makes, because I get very excited when I can't fault something. There's very little here I can fault. There was plenty of stuff in the first one I could fault. Now it's like it's as if the game is finally like stepping into its like the right light. There's not one thing I'm most excited about, because for me PoE has always been the doing everything and everything working together as like a well-polished engine. And it's like that, it's like the emerging gameplay of all the systems. That's the thing. And that's what I really think it looks like it's finally coming together. That excites me a lot.
What about you, Lance? What's got you
Oh, it's
most excited
bosses
about
for
this one?
sure.
Yeah.
I
Bro,
just
you haven't even seen the half of it, I'll tell you. Oh my god,
my
these
my
bosses.
favorite part of PoE, like if I think about all my gameplay across PoE 1, it's doing some cool new fight and getting to experience that, and then later on being like afterwards, after I've beaten that fight on future builds, being like, how can I make this character powerful enough to overcome this? So it's definitely boss fights for me.
I just could not believe like how the effort they've gone to in some of these. They have I feel like one of the bosses has like
Did they
the
show
amount of
you them?
abilities. Yeah, I got to see them over kind of like the last year or so, kind of the development, like the very early non-functional one. It was pretty funny. I saw one of the bosses before they put cooldowns on any of the abilities, and because they have like 40 abilities, it's just like and I'm like, oh my god, that's not what the bot fight's gonna be like. And they're like, cool, not quite that much, not quite that fast. It's pretty funny. I'll tell you what, you appreciate cooldowns on boss abilities, otherwise they just jam them end to end. But yes, no, they are pretty wild. Obviously, won't spoil anything, but oh my god, so cool. Yep. I think for me, the thing I'm most excited about is finally coming to a head. The thing that I've been kind of like saying and hoping for ages, like people talking about like, oh, this like infinite terrible atlas that we had. And I was like, this is not even like, this is not it. This is just the groundwork for what they want. This isn't even close to what they're trying to do. Clearly, like obviously they've made this map because they want to make it like feel more like a world that you're exploring. And I was like, I feel like I always felt like that was the thing that would make it work. Is like have it be something you're actually exploring to go find stuff. And we basically had none of that for ages until like I don't know, the very recent one where we started to get enough breadcrumbing that it did feel like you were almost kind of exploring something, but it still felt very procedurally generated, kind of just random bits scattered around with no meaning or reason to them. Now, like eventually you can get to that point where you complete all the kind of like hand placed content that they have, and even still then it's going to still feel like you're kind of exploring and finding stuff, not to the same extent. It'll go back to feeling procedurally generated, because you'll have like, you know, a random, you know, giant breach area on the map or a random giant abyss on the map. So that's still just kind of random, but that's like after you've played 100 hours of in-game or something, right? I feel like that what most people are going to play each league now is actually like a world that you explore. Over in this direction is the ocean. If you sail the ocean, you get to freaking Oriath and see the beast going blah, blah, blah. And I think that's going to be the thing that makes the end game work. Being able to see something on the atlas and go and explore it and engage with it, and then that leads you into very rapid fire content of like, you know, here's the mechanic, here's the boss, here's the next boss, here's the next boss. You get to the juice so much faster. I think part of Exile 1 endgame is like near perfect, personally, but it does have the problem like 30, 40 maps before you start to have anything interesting happen. I think like second map into the Atlas, you hit a tower. 2 maps after that, you're at the gate to the fortress. Every like, it's like looks like 2/3 plus of the maps in there have like a unique mechanic in it. That's a one-off thing in there, and they seem a lot of them pretty significant. And then you're like fighting the bosses, and then it's like 5 maps to go get to one of the other like league mechanics. So it seems like a constant barrage of awesome shit happening. That's what I'm most excited for. I'm excited. This is the most hype I've been since launch.
I think that's a lot of people. It's the most hyped they've been since launch. And I think this time it's gonna be justified hype. I think launch was a bit of a what is happening? What are we getting? What is this thing? It's not really what I signed up for, but I think this time I think that's probably also why they spent so much time explaining everything. Even though it's like, oh, can you please stop
Yeah.
spoiling all the bosses? It's because they
Yeah.
want to like narrate what are people actually signing up for this time? What is it you're getting? Because I think that's been I think a lot of players have kind of not really known what they were supposed to get. So I think that's
They
really
weren't
good
happy
that
with
they're
having to
doing
do
this.
that. So, like, Jonathan was telling me, there's like they don't like having to do that, but they felt like they
Yeah.
had to this time because it was just too hard to like make sense of what they're offering you. So it's like we
Yes.
basically just kind of, they say show don't tell. Is like we basically have to tell you what it is this time, otherwise it's not
Give
going
them
to work.
something concrete, so they're like, okay, you
Yeah,
did do stuff in this meantime.
Yeah.
we basically have to like show you playing through like chunks of the game for you to understand actually what we've done here. Just because it doesn't. That's what I was saying at the start. I was like, I feel like this is the biggest by far, but it is much harder to market that way. Because it is just kind of like so much little bits all together. It's not like one big thing that is easy to write a headline about.
Yeah.
So like I don't even really know what the like news cycle headlines have been like. I imagine it's probably been pretty hard for it to, be a headlineable thing. It's not like, I don't know, Path of Exile just added this just created a new genre or something like that. Like you might get sometimes like when they add like battle royale mode or something like that. It's not
Yeah.
something like that.
It's like if you just say, "Hey, we
Um,
just updated 4 or 5 league mechanics," it's like nobody's really gonna care. You have to like hype
no.
you have to give them they have to make the splash, the pinnacle boss on every one of them,
Yeah.
and that becomes the marketing point. And that's good. I mean, that's they benefit, we benefit. You know, they have to go the extra mile. We get to enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
like that.
Yeah, they keep being very extra and then like making even more work for themselves by like, oh yes, we're making it so that this class means that we have to think about every single glove mod ever, and this other class that makes you think about every rune ever.
I
They just
think
keep
GG
doing
needs
stuff like that too.
I think GG needs that actually. I think they need to do this to themselves. I
That's a good
think
idea.
when they're too like we want to do it perfect, but we haven't decided what yet, they run into trouble. Because then it gets this like stalemate where it's like kind of vague. They don't know. Nobody knows. Burning Ground stays for 5 years. It's like it just gets very, I don't know, it gets stuck in like a bad place. So I think when they do things, when they commit, like, oh, we're gonna make 10 accents gonna come, and so I was like, we're gonna have this thing, and we're always gonna have to update them, and then you just know it's coming. You know that they're gonna be like they're gonna add more cool support, like gems. They're gonna add more cool quality. They're gonna add more cool of this and that and this and that. And they have a goal. We know what's coming. I think it's just good that they do this.
I think that kind of like brings us to an interesting topic here. So I feel like in the past I knew very well what GGG's stance was on things and stuff that we would never get that we wanted, because like they were like, no, that's not how we want the game to be. Now I feel like I've gone back to not knowing in a good way. Like they're
What they're gonna be
changing
willing to do.
things. Yeah, they're changing like really long term things and being more open to discussion and like kind of reevaluation of stuff. Um, and they're just kind of like fixing things. I feel like they're on a bit of a rampage with fixing stuff. Like, like Jonathan sent me a message on Discord and it's just like, this is kind of crazy, but I'm gonna make bleed not deal damage when you're moving. I'm like, that's so wild to me. I would never even like thought about like asking about something like that. But like I think about it and it's like, I don't think I've ever liked that, right? Like it's always felt bad
It's
from the
just that
very beginning.
it kills you when you look away,
Like a
basically.
15-year-old mechanic of like, yeah, you if you don't stop moving, you die, and if you stand still, you die. So fun mechanic. That's just like, whoa, okay, yeah, I can understand being a someone in chat saying it makes me a bit nervous. This, and I'm like, I get that because yeah, like
That's good.
you're not necessarily sure if they might change something you like. I understand that,
That's
but
good.
it's also
I
exciting
feel
in a
like
good
we've
way. I'm
gotten
like,
so many good things from it though. Like
yeah,
async
absolutely,
trade. I think the
yep,
build planner, although
hmm
there's a lot of
they wouldn't
I've
have done
seen
that in
some
the
people
past.
have some pushback to it, but I feel like it's kind of just net positive for the people that would like appreciate that.
I think it's net positive for everyone because even if you're not following build guides, you can use it yourself just to make it so you don't
Yeah,
have the whole
like I'm
tab
gonna
to
use it for
pub.
myself just to like not have
Yeah,
to see the whole gem menu pop up every time because only
yeah,
have
just that alone.
a
Like
few things I
speedrunners will
actually
use it.
want.
Yeah, absolutely. Like price checking and And even stuff that they seemed kind of hard set on about PoE 2 that people were like, oh man, why are they doing this, man? Like, why are they doing this? And now they're like kind of reevaluating it. Like, even things like not having life on the tree, they are like discussing whether, like, just kind of reiterating over, like, okay, let's just talk about this again. Like, is this still a good idea or not? You know, like, because I was doing so much more Q&A prep this time, I spent a lot more time just in Jonathan's office as people would come in and talk about stuff. And it was just like, yeah, it's like, why aren't we doing life on the tree again? It's like, and they just went
That's a
through
good
the whole
question.
thing and like,
That's a good
yeah,
question.
went through the whole like conversation and back and forth and like, you know, I'm not necessarily saying if they go one way or the other on that, but they're just like talking about all these things, just double checking, like saying, is our initial assumption still correct? Is this still the approach? Or do we want to reconsider it, or what other angles do we want to take? Just kind of like having a look at everything there. It's very cool. Don't consider that an announcement or anything. Like I'm just saying they're literally discussing everything, even stuff you might consider that they're not discussing. That's the point. Why do you want life on the tree? I mean, that was the other half of the conversation. They were actually basically doing an actually though, then and there. It's like, why would we want life on the tree?
I can tell you why
It's,
life should be on the tree, if it should be on the tree. I think
okay.
there's a
All right,
way
then.
to
What's
get. I
up?
think there's a way to get around it. But here's the main issue with not having the thing that life solves in PoE 1 is this: if you start a witch, and you know you're going to be an armor witch eventually, or like you know you have a build, or you're taking dex and strength, and you're gearing up, but everything around you is energy shield. You have no recourse to actually build defense for a long time. If you follow the segment, like the quadrant you're in, and you're an energy shield build, you will do fine. Same thing if you're an armor build, you'll do fine. If you ever try and diverge from the structured defensive types around you, you get punished. Life is just a generic thing that everyone can use. It just helps you. And it gives you, there's a couple more things, which is like, energy shield is overpowered because it saves you against everything. It just works against everything, and especially degens. PoE 2 has a huge degen problem, and I think they're addressing it through all the modifiers. But life just works against everything. It's not like beholden to like one thing. So unless they actually give tools for what do I do as an armor character or as an evasion character, when that happens, then it just feels like you don't have enough tools in the toolbox. Life does everything. Life fixes you when you're trying to be special, basically.
It sounds like you're making a really good argument to not have energy shield on the tree as well. Because if life fixes everything, then
fine.
why wouldn't you just take those nodes? Every build ends up the same. Energy shield, well, the same problem. Yeah. I would be interested to see what that would look like. I think energy shield has its own separate problems, and a lot of that comes down to like recovery. It doesn't feel like a defense because you can recover it. That's what makes it like life.
Yeah.
It's not a defense. It's not a defense layer. It's a life layer because of how good the recovery is for it. But we'll see. They've made a bunch of changes there as well, so we'll see how that feels.
It's still good.
Yeah, no,
of course it is.
I'm sure. I'm very sure.
Should be good. Energy shield should be good. Rune ward should be good. Evasion should be good. Armor should be good. I mean,
I wonder how much rune ward we're gonna be able to get, because it seems like it has like some built-in pretty good recovery whenever they showed clips of it.
It's such an unusual mechanic. I don't really know what to make of it, but yeah, it is effectively like another way of getting life on every build. Helps with your issue, Nugi. It's a build agnostic extra life pool thing that you can build. So
yeah,
but it's not on the tree, I suppose. But
I think it.
Yeah,
I mean, it does.
Good.
I actually think the ward, because it really doesn't punish it. Like, it doesn't punish your defenses, right? Early game, when you put it on, I think that's a big deal. Because like you're not losing anything, it becomes that extra life pool that you can opt into. But if you're like, say, the energy shield build, you probably wouldn't need it because you can build enough pool without it. And you might actually be like, hey, I'm an energy build. I wish I could get some of that evasion. Like the real trick to make PoE defense good is that an energy shield character goes, oh, I wish I could have had some armor and evasion right now.
Energy character goes, I had ES, I made the right call, I didn't die.
I look forward to when they add a Templar at some point, and hopefully like it becomes a really good reason to be like, oh yeah, armor and energy shield together. These go great. Because it's like, it's the thing that I feel like is often struggled unless there's specifically like your armor mitigation recovers your energy shield. That's like pretty much the only thing that I feel like ends up making it work, or like armor stacking gets
I mean, they
crazy
did
or
have
something.
a divine shield, which I ended up using on my bear last patch. Which, if you have some decent amount of
That's
armor, it
good.
can give you some recovery for it.
Is it?
They get a
Yeah,
big buff
from
to
the
bark skin.
stats, it was the weakest by far. Like, Mark was telling me like the deaths kind of for different defensive types and stuff like that. They have pretty good data on that, and it was like so far lower than everything else. Like compared to like with evasion ES sitting right at the top. Is evasion with exactly 1,000 energy shield was the strongest defensive package apparently according to deaths by a substantial margin. Just ghost dance basically.
Ghost Dance good.
Yeah.
Ghost dance good. Yeah.
Instantaneous recovery where you could like cut the duration down so it just stacked really fast.
Yeah.
Well, I also think
Yeah, it
it's
was like that, then energy
because.
shield. Just
So
pure energy
what
shield.
happens when you're an energy shield or evasion energy shield character with just 1,000 energy shield? You put everything else in damage. Things are dead around you.
Mhm.
A lot of
Yeah.
players die
Yeah.
because there's no recourse when things are not dead on the screen.
Yeah, I mean that's the efficiency part of it, right? Like it was super
Yeah.
efficient and allowed you to invest elsewhere. Oh, but they've made a bunch of changes to all that stuff. But anyway, we're
Going
getting
the right way.
slightly off track. We were talking about
I think
life on the
we're in the weeds.
tree.
I blame
I do think there are a
you
lot of
for
good
mentioning
arguments to
life
have
on the
life on the
tree.
tree. What's that?
I said blame you for mentioning life on the tree.
Yes. All right, we can probably move along from that one. I'm curious for you guys, with just so much stuff in this expansion, how are you actually approaching playing this? Because me, I feel like I'm at a loss. Like normally I would be like planning and coming up with like specific ideas of how I want to engage with whatever mechanic it is, but there's so many like different ways to approach this and so much stuff that it's almost too much that I've disengaged. It's not necessarily a negative thing. I feel like I'm going blind into a game, which is fun. But I'm curious if you guys feel kind of similarly, or if you have very specific plans, or where are you at with how do you start this league and what do you do?
I have a very, very good plan. I need to get to Act 3 as quickly as possible. And then after that, my
Go get monkey.
monkey is gonna carry me. That's the plan.
Knew it. Knew it.
That's my preparation has been just doing runs up until that second lab, and then I just stop the run because that's
World first monkey. There you
yeah,
go.
world first monkey. That's the whole plan. I mean, with all the new stuff, it's really just like I just want to try all of it. Just I'm
Mhm.
probably gonna start out with the baseline fortress atlas mechanic, get some passives, and then start doing each of the mechanics one by one. See what they do, see what they have.
I have a different idea for that actually. This is the one idea I have had. I think I'm going to go because the masters are placed in specific spots on the atlas. At least I know where two of them are. I don't know where the other one is. Doriani you don't get until you go do one of the mechanics. But like there are specific places on the map near the start, but not in the same direction as the fortress, where you unlock the two other masters. So I feel like I'd go get those first, then go into the fortress, because then you've got like their master unlocks happening as you're clearing the fortress. Whereas if you go to the fortress and get them, then you can play catch up on them.
You gonna
It's
tell
like
everybody what the direction to go? You gonna give us the
I feel
insider
like they
trading
announced this
information?
publicly, so I'm pretty sure that that's okay. That's been mentioned or it was shown, so you could just say I was cleverly sleuthing things. But it seems like it's kind of like southwest and then south. I think the two of them are. At least one of them is definitely southwest. From the starting point. But they're like pretty obvious. They're on the map. You can see something on the map. You go do.
Like you see it at the
Um,
start, like there's enough exploration, or you have to get like fog of war down to get to them.
Probably, or maybe you have to go out a little bit. I'm not sure.
Can
I
you put
mean, it
the
was
graphic
definitely in
up?
the videos at least.
Can you just toss the graphic over? There's like one that shows where where everything
Oh,
is
you've got a
located.
graphic for this.
Yeah, yeah.
You got it, Lance, or am I doing it?
You got it.
Is it this? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that good?
Just like to give people kind of an idea of like how much stuff is around you, like where we're going.
Yeah. Well, is that on this map? Willow, Wildwood Monastery. No, so I don't think they're on this map. But if you look at the spawn point,
Right?
kind of towards Ritual and Delirium, and then Breach and Delirium, I think is those.
Okay.
And between Delirium and Breach is, I think, where Doriani is. So they're kind of all in that south-southwest direction. So you could go get... I would probably go at least go get the boss hunting one. Because I want to like progress that as I'm doing the...
Yeah. I'm actually really excited for those masters.
But this is exactly why I love this, like, this expansion, this endgame, right? Like, look, man, you can't miss. There's like, there. It is funny because there is this like tiny gap in the northwest if you follow the wall of the fortress. It's like the only gap there. It's like they put one more league in there, and it's like after that they're gonna have to start coming up with clever solutions to, like, I don't know, space them out more or do something else. Yeah, the next league will have to be underground because there's no space to put it on the map.
They do keep talking about Delve, I feel like, on a regular basis.
Yeah, they're gonna do Delve, but they've done Delve but Ocean, so now they got to do Delve but Down. Wait, that's just Delve. And then Delve but up, obviously. So Tower Climb.
Oh my god, if we ever go up.
I love it. It's just like, oh my god, up. This changes everything.
I'm very excited for up. Yes. Okay, yes. You know what I realized? I realized what it is I'm so excited about. And why it's not boss. It's because I'm all about the journey. Like, destination is a finishing point, and it's kind of a sad point for me a lot of the time. So like, all the boss fights very often to me feel like conclusions, and it's like they don't excite me as much. I think that's why. So like, I don't know. I just realized that when you're talking, like, I love journey. All this stuff you're talking about, like, what do you want to do? I want to go on a journey. I want to like go places, find places, upgrade gear, find this, find that, to get to the end destination, which is gonna be really fucking cool. But it's like there has to be a journey there for me to appreciate the destination. And I don't think the journey was very good before. This is so much better.
And I mean, you also touched on another thing that was really important for them as well. Is like, prior they didn't really have any elegant stepping off points, so people would just play until they got frustrated and then quit, and then they would leave a negative review.
Yeah.
it's the classic, like, 2,000 hours played.
Dude,
I hate this game.
There's no way those reviews are. Those reviews are people that are just mad about a recent change that occurred. Like, if, let's say, like, they nerfed. You remember they had cast on ailment and they nerfed that mid league. I think there was a bunch of people that just went and made a bad review because they didn't like the change.
Yes, but I'm also not so quick to dismiss it, because like, I think that's very much a real thing. Like, if you just play looking for something and you don't ever really like have a point to gracefully quit, then yeah, eventually you're gonna get frustrated no matter how good the game is. But having like some point that feels like, oh, that was satisfying, you know, that's having a climax. The game's got to have a climax so you can feel like, okay, I'm good to stop now. This is fine. This is fine. Otherwise, you know, you're not necessarily quite as satisfied afterwards. You can still have a very good time, a lot of fun, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit off track. But yeah, no, I mean, that's a very real thing. Like, the ability for people who do want to just be complete degenerates and play for 5,000 hours each league, they can do that. But having the stepping off point is good even for a lot of those people. My apologies.
I think what they did with adding like the quest lines and stuff, the objectives, I think all that's good, but I don't know. I feel like that was a misinterpretation of what those reviews were or why they were happening. But I don't know. I think regardless, it's going to be a good change overall to have, because like whenever somebody asks me is like, Lance, why aren't you bored of the league? It's my answer is always I have an objective. I have something, like some goal I'm going for.
Yeah. And it's so much easier to set goals. They're a bit more tangible here as well. Like, most people do need like a quest line to beat, or a tree to complete, or a progress bar to fill, or a boss to beat. And that's basically the 4 or 5 big things that I see that, and they did all of them. They added progress bars. So there's these progress bars that pop out on the side for each league. And I think something like that is like, seems silly, I think, to a lot of us maybe that have played for a long time, but just that is really important. And it's the perfect league to add achievements to as well. So you've got your 8 achievements to go for now. That's just a huge thing for a lot of people. And there's MTX and call it a league. And then you come back excited for the next league. They were saying like PoE's business model is not in getting people to play forever. It's in getting people to have a really good time and want to come back and leave feeling like they want to come back next league. Because that's where it is, right? I mean, ultimately, monetization wise, they sell their supporter pack again next league. That's how they keep themselves going.
That's
so it makes sense. Yep, that's the one. Oh, very excited. Where are we at? What are we talking about here? So we're talking about GG's recent trend towards fixing everything. We've got some pretty nice quality of life this league. We got the build planners and price checker tools as two of the big headliners. Two things that in the past probably they were examples of those things that it just seemed like they would probably never do, along with the asynchronous trade they've done recently. I actually feel like I've been using since PoE 2, I've been using the wiki a lot less. I've been using Path of Building almost not now. I have been using other tools. I actually feel like I'm almost not going to alt tab anymore, and that's kind of cool. You can. There's still more to get from other resources, and Exiled Exchange or whatever is still going to have some features over the in-game stuff. But you can definitely get away with not having any third-party apps or anything now. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about the quality of life stuff, the price checker, the build planner, all that?
Maybe I didn't adapt it as much, but I still just use the trade site over the in-game.
I use it for any
Uh,
advanced searches. It's a bit better for that
yeah,
still.
I just feel like it's easier for me to get the my trade searches set up. Like
And you
there's
can
a little bit
bookmark
better
trades and
support for
stuff.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. But for any quick stuff though, I use the in-game one if I just want to buy something real quick.
Yeah. I've gotten so annoyed with just all the nitty-gritty stuff that PoE constantly forces you through. So like in the past I would set up everything for trade. I would have all the whoops, I would do like all the different things to get the the maximum value on like finding all like the special things that nobody really would find and all that. But I don't know, in the last many years of PoE just kind of bloating and cluttering with just even just the gameplay, I'm so fatigued. So even though they just added all this, I'm really happy. I like the in-game stuff. I like the in-game implementations. But I still find myself to I run out of steam and I just start ignoring trade and that stuff, and I just kind of go into I'm just gonna do it myself. I can't be bothered to engage so much with that. So
yeah,
but it's
fatigue
very
build up
nice
over
that
the years is a big
they're
one.
doing it.
I
like
was
it.
I was probably maybe a year or so ago getting to the point where my fatigue levels for Path of Exile were getting really high with what you're talking about, just the little stuff, like the extra clicks you have to do here and there. They just build up, man. I got to the point where I got so frustrated I installed a click counter on stream just to show one league, just kind of how many clicks we had to do in Path of Exile 1. It was getting insane, man. It was so much clicking. Oh my god.
That was
And I did it
delirium.
for I did a 1 week marathon or something, and I tracked my clicks and it was some ridiculous number. They've been cutting it down on a lot. And now I feel much less, even though Path of Exile 2 in some ways is a more fatiguing game because it's a little bit more involved, but where I'm being fatigued has changed, and then some of the fatigue points that were really bothering me have evaporated or reduced heavily. It's good. It's real good.
Yeah, I think the PvT not having all the I guess it's still spammy in crafting, but it's been less so than PoE1, I think. At least up until now. I'm a bit, this is actually something I'm afraid about with all the
We're not
crafting
alt
stuff
spamming
coming,
for
but
one.
it's with all this I don't know, I feel like we'll talk about when we get to crafting. Cuz otherwise I'm just going to start
Fair enough.
yapping on that.
All right. Campaign progression is another one kind of along the line. GGG is giving ways of getting through zones more quickly and redesigning a lot of zones, actually to a bigger extent than I expected. This was a surprise. I thought they were just kind of doing some light signposting. But when I actually played, I was like, holy, this is a whole new zone. Like the one where you go activate the statues, the Titan Valley.
Oh yeah, I always get lost there.
Yeah, and now you start in the middle, and it's got 3 paths that you go. At the end of each path is a portal that brings you back to the start. And you activate it, and it's you do it, man. You just do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
Some
most of us, me
significant
included,
direction.
significant zone reworks.
Wow.
The village, Ogham Village, now is actually a village with a road. You follow the road, get to the blacksmith, then you go to the boss. It's not like this
Oh, that's what I'm
giant maze
trying.
of huts right
I was
now.
literally complaining about that zone today. I was doing
It's so stupid, the current version. Yes. The new version I did, I was like, oh, there's a nice wide cobble road. You follow it, and there's the blacksmith sign, and you go
Oh
into the
my God.
blacksmith, and it actually feels more like a town now, and not some crappy procedurally generated action RPG map like they can be
Exactly.
sometimes. Yeah.
That is so funny. The
It's
two zones
way,
you
way better.
mentioned are two of the biggest ones I would even think of
They
in
were,
the
they
early
were big
access.
offenders, right? and I can at
What
least
about,
verify
okay,
that
just
those
out of
two have
curiosity,
changed.
random one, Freythorn. You played Freythorn in this run, right?
Yes, Wraith one's way better because now whenever you do a ritual, it has bugs pointing to the next ritual. Like there's like a giant purple swarm fleeing off to the
Yeah,
next
just
ritual. So you
wandering
just
aimlessly until you
yes,
run into wherever the next
yes,
one
you
is.
just follow. It just points you go this way. So that one's substantially better. I don't know if they reworked the
That's
zone. It
sweet.
felt smaller, but maybe just because of that. So that was a big one. And there's lots of other little hints and stuff. So if they were just doing the little hints, it would be like I kind of would get the argument that like, oh, I don't want to have to learn all these hints. But they're also doing a lot of this stuff that would just kind of work naturally. Like it's like how games do it in a more obvious fashion. They paint like a ledge yellow, you know, you can climb there. That stuff's a bit on the nose, but you can do that stuff more subtly by just like you have a slope or you have a road or something, and players are going to naturally follow that even without thinking about it. And they're doing a lot more of
Acceptance
that
of
as
more
well.
of the situation.
Yeah, so I'm becoming a little bit more of a believer of their approach because I was not a believer before. I was like, no, just make a lot of these zones way smaller and only have the occasional big zone because like that's pacing. I thought the pacing was so bad before. I was like, if you want to have like a giant like underwater city or whatever, have the giant underwater city, but you got to make like the zones leading up to it like little quick ones so that you get some like pacing variety. But with these changes now, I'm kind of seeing this come together. I get the argument more, which the argument they're making is that they want to, as much as possible, have like the best experience that they see for like a new player playing it for the first time, which wants a bigger zone, wants kind of like more, and also needs it to an extent as well to get more of those chests that have guaranteed rewards in them, get more like experience, so they're a bit over leveled. But then to have like the the more experienced players have that smooth, quick playthrough. I don't know if they can somehow achieve what they're trying to do there, where you have like a substantially reduced playthrough if you've done it a couple times. Then maybe it'll work. I think there's still going to be some zones to bring down in size a bit, but it seems a big improvement here. The biggest we've
I
had since
mean,
ever.
I think
for
you
me,
should.
I feel like if they're solving that directionality, it's the biggest thinking for me when I've been doing these campaign runs is the part where you go a very long time in the wrong direction and just have to turn around because there's this
Yeah.
like extensive of dead end network that you can run down without any real indicator of whether or not you're going the wrong way until you've traversed the entire wrong direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
feel
seems to be
like
getting a lot better in that regard.
I feel like the way they generated zones before was intentionally made so that you couldn't figure it out. And I think that was such a dick move. I really think it was like you need to suffer. It's like that was like it's part of
Yeah.
it. No, but it's like
Yeah,
when
it's not what they were planning as well. Like that's weird. That's the weird thing. I agree with you, but it's not what they were planning because I remember like right from when I was talking to them pre-release even, they were saying we want to have like so that you can look at the map and know the exact direction you have to
yeah,
go
but
because like
you
the
couldn't.
exits will line up. That was obviously bugged.
Yeah,
So it
it
didn't end up
never
working.
worked. So it's like that's
Yeah,
one of the
they fixed that
things.
apparently.
Oh, that's very good. It's I think
Yeah.
that's one of the main things. As a player, you're okay with going the wrong direction as long as you know it's your fault. If you feel like you did the right thing, you followed the right leads, or you looked at the map and it takes you in the wrong direction, you get pissed off. Because the game
Yeah.
is at fault now. It's not you.
Mhm.
This
If
is
it's
some
like it's
BS.
yeah, if you miss the sign and you know that next time you can follow the sign, it's like, oh shit, okay. That is way it's acceptable as a player that you made a mistake if you know if there's recourse for you to have.
Yeah, Spooky's saying it from a design perspective, it must be such a headache to design zones that seem large to new players but are small for new players, for experienced players to not feel the slog. And I agree, this is the hard route. They're absolutely taking the hard route on this, like the easier route that would work, and we pretty much will be fine with it. Is like, yeah, it's just to make things smoother and more linear. But
No, but if you make it
that would
smoother and
cost
more
something.
linear, it doesn't you run into a lot of problems. If you do not actually put enough monsters in the zone, you underlevel the player significantly.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a part of what they're worried about as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these things if you don't populate zones well enough. Like this stems all the way back to like I don't know 2012 racing, where like some of the zones you needed to they were made in a way where you could actually speedrun through them very well, but they actually didn't generate enough XP so that you had to restart this. Like you couldn't restart the zones back then. It's like there's just like it's kind of like I totally get why it's so difficult to like for them to generate the right size and so on and all that, because it is really difficult to do. I think they've done a really good job, and I honestly, having zones that feel too big is not a problem. Every game that's been great has these zones, and they're memorable. It's like fucking Barrens, right? I'm in Barrens again. I don't want to be in Barrens, World of Warcraft, or I'm in Act 3, and there's a soul lightning dude sapping me nonstop. Can I just get out of here? It's like you have this like, oh, they should just make the zone smaller, but it leaves like a, I think it adds to the whole picture. You can't just have everything be streamlined, because then you forget about it.
I mean, to some extent, like memorability is an important part, but it doesn't just necessarily have to be a bad memory, right? Like,
Well, it's both.
there could be like,
It's
you
the
remember this because you
contrast.
liked it.
But like, I loved going through Chaos Sanctuary because my XP bar would go crazy, and it's like you had the right build. It just felt like everything fell over. It's that contrast between like, it's going poorly, it's going great, it's going poorly, and then you learn, and then it's going great for the most part, and there's only a few places where it's going poorly. And to me, that makes an RPG if you want to have a good campaign at least. So that's
Some like character to each of the zone. It doesn't all blend together.
yeah.
I think doing this, what they're doing with some of the more unique zone layouts as well, is going to help them feel a little bit more memorable. Because like I think like the scattered huts of Ogham Village is not as memorable as, you know, stepping into this village and there's like a big cobblestone road and you go to the blacksmith. It feels like a physical place. That's much more memorable, right? The Titan Valley, where it's not just like some big amorphous kind of like blob of stuff, is much less memorable than like winding through these valleys and then like, whoa, big giant Titan there lights up and you go back and then this thing comes out of the ground. Like I think that's way more memorable. So
Give stuff some
that should help.
purpose, direction,
Yeah,
character.
it is. Yeah, exactly. And pacing is more controllable too, while still kind of keeping things as a bigger zone. On the topic of fixing things, I feel like GGG has been thinking a bit more about working on what is actually good gameplay and have made some big fundamental changes. I think they talked about this on Jonathan was telling me about it, but I think they might have talked about it on like the podcast, which I haven't caught yet, the recent one. But effects everywhere and undead, like this idea of like what are good effects that monsters do that feel fun and engaging and make them more interesting versus what are bad ones. And they're making this change that rare monsters can't just have several things that layer on top of each other that just fire out of them like turrets. Because that's like they're considering that that's kind of like a bad thing when a monster's just walking along and stuff's just firing out of it in every direction. Obviously, when you got like an essence monster and they're releasing volatiles and they're shooting out like ice skulls and mortars and stuff like that, that's kind of bad design. It is just a mess, and it's not really stuff you engage with quite as much. So like reevaluating that, I was like surprised to hear about that. It's like, oh, okay. So they're going to make it so that there's like a kind of a global thing on them where they're like, they can only have one of these sorts of effects because it's not good to layer them.
It was kind of wild hearing that, considering how long PoE's had that be a thing, where you can have these layered amount of just spammy things covering the screen. It's just a question of,
Yeah, right.
is your character built to survive this or not? Pass, fail, check. I think it's a really positive thing that they're objectively looking at this and being like, yeah, that's not great gameplay. There's no counterplay to it. It's just you rolled a bad dice roll and now the screen has nowhere to stand.
I mean, I feel like the AoE everywhere is it's not the only thing. It's also like whenever like a monster like randomly just has chill ground and triple haste, that kind of stuff just makes monsters like unapproachable to certain characters. And it's not, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just like, it's so weird that the monster is not defined by itself. It's defined by all the modifiers.
Modifiers, yeah.
No, yeah, they're surprising us because like this stuff, like stuff like that, and stuff like the bleed while moving extra damage, they just seemed like things that were just they just were truths of the universe, right? Like they were never going to change. They were just assumed to be that's the way it is. But they are actually looking at these things and reevaluating them and changing this stuff. And a lot of it seems like it's in support of, you know, the vision of a bit more engaging and enjoyable gameplay experience. Actually, what is good gameplay? 'Cause that's been the thing I've always been most excited about for Path of Exile 2 is like figuring out what is good gameplay and capturing that a bit more.
I actually thought when they were making PoE 2 that they weren't, because one of the like that they weren't going to just stack modifiers. And the reason why is because they were so proud that they'd made so many unique monsters in the game. Like, oh, we have 600 different monster types on like 100 different tile sets, and we have 100 bosses. And then they just layer them with these things to make them unrecognizable and not be unique in their own right. They ended up actually nerfing all their base abilities, but leaving all the bullshit. That was surprising to me.
Around, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you see hyenas with spears, you should be afraid of their physical damage and, you know, be ready to dodge. But that's not the thing you're scared of. You're scared of whether or not it has, like, you know, like circles on the ground.
I remember from a while back, this is not a super recent discussion, so this is probably still more of like a long-term thing that's not happening right away, maybe. But I remember this discussion that like whatever monsters can become rares gain actual physical abilities that they do only when they're rare. So like you go through the game and say like, oh, when a rower has a rare ability, they gain some new. When they're a rare, they gain a new ability that's actually a rower specific ability. It's not something that like any rare can get, like random fireballs that shoot out of them. But like rowers do this when they're rare. And I was like, whoa, that'd be
very cool. Yeah.
Then you that goes back to like way back in the day, like remembering like, oh, a rare devourer being like a significant thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really care what a rare monster is now, like whether it's A monster or B monster. It makes no difference to me. I just kill it and I just watch out for its volatiles. Right. It's pretty much the gameplay. But that could get back to that actual kind of, well, I mean, really not even get back to, because I don't know that we ever really had that, except just when the game was so much slower and harder. But it could actually get that even without necessarily making the game so much slower and harder, but just by not having things be homogenous.
If they want to follow through with the trying to reduce the amount of stacked ridiculous things that happen, that seems like a viable counter solution of like, okay, how do we make this monster harder when it gets rare besides just adding mods?
The question in chat is like, doesn't Delirium do that a bit now? And it's the opposite. Delirium does the opposite. Delirium gives the same abilities to any monster. It does make them stop, which is a slight improvement. Like they stop and do the Delirium ability, which is nice. But this actually makes it just activates a latent ability in the monster. So I don't know. Row is probably a bad example because I can't actually think of what ability a row would have.
Can jump now instead of
something like that. It can leap at you or something. I don't know, but that's like the same as the charge. I guess a better example would be like a devourer. They gain the ability to do like some big slow moving projectile that then explodes. Like they normally just do their, you know, burrow and attack or a little spit, but now once they're a rare, all of a sudden they gain the ability to do this slow moving nuke blow up thing or something like that. A new ability that's just for them. Nothing else does that. That makes the monster matter again, because you're like, I'm scared of that ability when rare devourer. Oh shit, that thing shoots a nuke at me. Kinda cool. It's a lot, again, a high effort though, but this is what every time I say like, why do you guys do this to yourselves? It's like, we have to.
They already did the groundwork. They have so many unique monster types. Like they've done so much of the groundwork. Just tweak the bit, like literally just like up some of the numbers again on a lot of the things that were like tuned down, and it's like it starts feeling as if, you know, the monsters matter again. Like you're okay with the being, you know, shut off screen by like a breach monster if it only happens in breach. You just know that that's kind of a thing that can happen in breach, or you have like a lot of overlapping abilities. That's delirium. Or like chaos projectiles following you. That's ritual. As long as you know what you're opting into, you don't mind it so much. But like when it becomes a blob and it kind of just negates every build outside of a one thing, it's not as fun.
I think a part of this discussion on what is good gameplay is pretty relevant in this patch, because I feel like recovery is a key piece of the puzzle when it comes to gameplay. Because
Yeah.
when we have the ability to recover all our health in a fraction of a second, then that does eventually, and we've seen it, this is true, lead to the only things that matter being the things that kill you after a monster's dead, so volatile or ground effects,
Right.
and or things that kill you quicker than you can heal, which becomes a fraction of a second. And I think most people can agree that like dying instantly and not really knowing what killed you is not really very engaging gameplay. And so I think like recovery is a very aggravating factor, and I feel like Path of Exile 2 in general really needs to think about this much, much more seriously. So I was excited to see that they're like changing Leech. I don't know the end result will be that necessarily, but I know they're changing that. They're changing energy shield recovery. Lance, maybe you can speak more to that and how that might feel, but I feel like we need to not be able to like fill up our energy shield instantly and our health instantly.
I mean, so as for the energy shield thing, I mean, I've played characters where I didn't necessarily have a lot of recharge. And like, because basically what they're doing is they're nerfing your access points to recharge rate and faster recharge.
Yep.
And even characters with not like any recharge investment are still quite strong. Because basically it's like, it just is it's a reset period is kind of what it ends up being of I just got hit by a bunch of stuff. How long before I can start playing risky again is kind of what I feel like it ends up being.
I like that.
So like no recharge means your baseline is you have to run around for like let's say 5, 6, 7 seconds or whatever, where you have to play safe, you have to play careful. Whereas with the good recharge, your reset time's way more aggressive. Like I have to play careful for like 2 seconds, versus like 7 or whatever. I don't think it'll ultimately end up changing too much, just except for that time frame of where you have to be a little bit more careful. You're still going to feel very tanky, where you can take a lot of damage, and I think it's still I still am thinking that a lot of builds I'm playing are going to look at doing ES because I think it's still just good.
Yeah. I mean, what you're describing is very exciting to me, because what I want is to die because of something that happens over a bit of a period of time, or like that situation where like what happened in this engagement with one pack matters in the next pack. Because right now, like for a long time in Path of Exile, that's not been the case. The only thing that matters is what's happening exactly right now. What happens in 2 seconds is not influenced by what just happened most of the time. So it sounds like it's still very powerful, but I mean, a big fact part of this, I suppose, a big part of the equation is like how quickly you're blowing stuff up, how much damage you're dealing as well. Obviously,
Yeah. Because
do
I
you
think
get more
it
buffer space for your energy
sounds
shield to come back?
like if you have to wait 6 seconds to recover your full HP pool, that sounds reasonable. That doesn't sound too long, and it's not too fast, right? If with a gameplay loop, that sounds a bit like it's still very powerful, but I don't think that's energy shield's fault, or the recharge at least at that point.
Yep.
Keep in mind that's like you've taken, like, how do I put this? You've let yourself get hit a bunch of times in a row type of thing. Cuz like let's say you only got hit a little bit here and there, like keep in mind a lot of life builds are like 3k life, right? But you're
Yep.
an energy build, you have 20k and you get hit for 3k. That's a small portion of your life. It doesn't feel that bad, and you just a lot
Mm.
of times you'll just keep playing as is. You don't get hit, and that reset timer isn't really there because it just goes back up. You have to get like another 3k, a 3k, a 3k, a 3k, and you're like, oh, I'm below half. Maybe now I'll think about this a little bit more, type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for the equivalent of a life build, which would then be like either evasion or energy or armor, right? Because it's like energy shield. You're either energy shield, armor, or evasion, and so like the you just need the armor to be strong enough to do something equivalent, right? Like the 3k would be tuned down to like the 500 or the 400, and you take like 5 of those, and it's like, but honestly, you should probably take a little bit more because leech is way stronger on life now, compared to energy shield, for instance. There's like so there's like this. It's okay that energy shield actually can. Defenses need to be strong. I think the players just do too much damage. Like they negate the danger too fast.
It's insane. I was gonna say also it's the honestly for small hits I actually prefer. I think Defiance plus armor is just a crazy situation where a lot of like the mid tier hits you just can be there forever. But
then the effects
biggest
come in.
separating factor is the max hit now, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's like you have one thing where this is really good for a lot of small hits and feels good, and another one where it's like this is pro for a big hit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting point. Like, recovery is what makes the medium hits not matter anymore ultimately. Whereas, and that pushes everybody to like giant health pools, giant energy shield pools. So like the current like that problem reinforces the energy shield dominance because it's the thing that gives you the giant pool, right?
Well, I'll give you an
and
example from
recovery.
PoE1 to where they kind of was solved for a long time, where energy shield was not king. It was called molten shell. Like, and you could even play stuff like that where you have like you can extend your pool by leveraging the other defense, and they could do more of that kind of stuff where you can leverage the pool through more. And like the deflect coming up right now is huge. It's anything that extends your maximum hit is always what makes characters good in PoE. PoE 1 and PoE 2, I think. It can't only be that, because if your life pool is low and degen is high, then that character is still weak. Because there's so much, degen is so prevalent. Like you still had those like transcendence characters dying just to like degen or whatever. And that still felt bad, but I think there's a way that they can like make it good, like separation between the without having energy shield just being like
I
superior.
think that's a big key factor is there's always got to be some level of like a weak point. One defense can't just be good at everything.
Yes.
I'm excited. You're kind of making me excited for some of the Kalgurian skills that I saw being developed because, like, one of them was like a more active defense thing. And although there was like maybe two even that like either leverage your ward or do things like that. And I was like, oh, that could be a pretty interesting sort of thing. I hope those end up being good, and obviously they're somewhat build agnostic to an extent. Some will work better with other builds, but you know, you can use them on any that don't have attribute requirements and all that. So, yes, I don't know what's been revealed of those, so I won't be too specific.
They have not shown us much at all. I keep having people come in and be like, I don't see people talking about the Kalgurian skills. And I'm like, dude, they haven't told us
shown
like
us
anything.
It's great.
We have names of the skills. That's it.
Yeah, there was, I think, at least like two that I would kind of put in this, like I think pretty interesting in this discussion of these sorts of like active defense skills that could have pretty interesting designs. I'm not sure where they landed with those, but so I don't want to like mislead people with the specific ones. But yeah, it could be some interesting potential there. There's a big wildcard unknown factor those skills then, huh? Because I haven't really shown too many of them, and there's like 20 something of them, I think. So there's a lot of design space there, I think. Yes. And they're kicking around some really cool ideas. Oh, we're F.
Oh, Lance is effing.
Oh no, I thought he was just making a pose. No, Lance.
No, Lance.
We can wait for a minute. I might grab some water and say good morning to my child while we wait for Lance to come back. I'll be right back.
Do that. Take a little break. Jeez, they've come for Lance. It's over, boys. He's been too OP for too long. That's the real nerf to energy shield. Just take Lance out. Aw, no. Lance's internet died. It's gonna come up soon. Oh, have I played Siggy's game? I have. It's pretty cool. Like it. I always like a cool game. Oh shit, lands on the phone. That would be kind of, yeah, that could work. Oh, I think, is there baggage? Baggage? Oh, I see movement.
I think it might be working again.
Oh, there it is. Phew. Scary. Very scary. Oh, it's gone. He's gone. Lol. And we're just about to talk about Leech. Leech is actually very cool now. I'm so happy about Leech. So I'm a Leech believer. I'm like a PoE2 Leech believer. This is like the best they've ever had Leech. I think. This is like the best iteration. In my opinion. Ay ay ay. Wonder how the change dive get on head. Oh! There. Now we're like flipped around, aren't we? Oh.
Can you hear me, or does this even work? I'm on my phone.
It works. Oh, you moved me.
I think my power just like completely died, or I don't know. It took on for a second there, but I don't know what's going on. My ISP.
Damn. Okay, well, I will. There's two of me now. I'll have to fix Siggy. Okay, well, you're Siggy now. You're down here.
Hello, is Lance getting back in there?
It might be.
Oh, no.
My working. Yeah. I'm
Oh
gonna
dear.
try the computer one more time, and hopefully it doesn't.
Oh god.
Die.
Sounds like he's calling in on like a news broadcast from on the scene or something. War reporter, kind of like. Yeah, well, you're not quite coming through clearly over there.
Calling from the trenches.
There's just a lot of action here over in the Path of Exile build preparation scene. I'm trying to figure out how to get to my monkey as fast as possible.
The monkey's loose.
Whoa, are you okay over there?
Ah!
The monkey almost slammed me. It's okay.
Wait, it's... Oh no.
He's back.
God
Did you change him preemptively?
God damn it.
Now you gotta change him again?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's okay. Lance.
G'day guys, Captain Lance here. Is that how you sound?
Yes, hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully we're good. I don't know. My router just completely like died randomly and turned back on, then died again.
You say random.
Well done. We're back.
I think there
we're
were
back.
Other forces at
fixing
play.
the thing. Good job, everybody. You're back. Have you guys looked at the challenges? Do you guys care about challenges usually?
I like challenges.
Nice.
They're not too like extensive, but just like the whole adding some cool MTXs, some incentives. I think that'll be pretty worthwhile for. I think a lot of people are excited about them. I think they look cool.
So they changed them to 8 challenges. Do they feel more achievable? Like, is that is that a different thing to the 40 challenges?
They're definitely more achievable.
Okay.
Haven't not even seen them. 8 is just lower than 40. 40 is like, I can't.
Very good,
dude. Can't.
Insightful commentary, my friend.
I looked through them. They're way more like on the track of like, if I was playing the game, I would get these just naturally. Like the challenges in PvE1 are a lot more like, do this weird thing with this other weird thing to get the thing that you just wouldn't ever do.
Yeah,
outside of like looking at the challenge and be like, okay, I need to do that. They're way more just streamlined of in line with what you're going to be doing anyways for playing the game.
Okay. I might actually do them then. I usually do not care because the moment I see like a list of 40 and they're like random choose shit, I'm just like, I don't care.
Wait, so you guys haven't seen them yet?
No, I haven't looked at the video yet.
I saw that there was a video.
They're like kill endgame bosses, get your ascendancy. You know, they're like
Right.
that. They're pretty
Cool.
like
I'm actually
straightforward.
doing them. Yeah, I've never
I'm
been
gonna
much
do
of an
them.
achievement hunter or challenge guy, but I might actually try them then if they are of that sort of nature. It might
I
just be
kind
like
of
a nice
wanted
little
to.
kind of bonus to doing what I'm doing.
I wanted to do
Yeah.
them in
You,
PoE1 in the past, and then I just didn't. And then because I never completed
Yeah.
one, it just became this thing where I had like 12 half completed totems. I was like, I can't. This
You don't really care, right?
now I've
Yeah.
lost it. If I can't have all of them, I want none of them. Have you ever
Yeah.
been like that? Where it's like if you don't, if like
you're gonna get the statue for this thing, whether or not you want it or not, just by playing. I'm pretty confident
very
because it.
nice.
Okay, cool.
Can you do the stream
Yeah.
together thing, lads? It broke.
Yes. Yeah, I'll restart.
All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, I might actually engage with that then. I'll have to check out the video for it. We were talking about other stuff. I think that's one of the things GG's fixing. I didn't really like the challenge system before, but I know some people really did. So I don't know. Maybe some people are disappointed by how easy they are now. Chat, any of you guys fall into that category, or is it mostly a pretty good thing? But either way, that's it's good to get them in there, and I guess they'll be able to gauge feedback from this the first time they've ran them. And I didn't think they were going to do them until launch. So, but this was a really good league to put them in, though. It's very on
Yeah.
theme for what they're doing with lots of goals and progression measurements and things like that. The domestic challenges are fine. RNG ones are a snore. Yeah. Okay. I think there should be some more niche ones. I figure like maybe some people would be disappointed that there's not some more
I
like
sent
kind
you
of
an
unusuals
invite,
to go
Nugi.
hunt down. So another one of those things GG seems to be fixing is Jeweler's orbs on item sockets to granted skills from those items. So you can, I didn't actually see this, but do you just drop a job on the actual item itself?
I think maybe in the
I think
gem.
it's yeah.
Did
You
you
can
open
just
the
apply it
gem
to the
thing
item.
and then you just click over? Maybe
Oh, you do
I
it on
don't
there,
know.
yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't know.
I
Maybe it's
think
just
that
the
makes
item.
sense.
That
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean
my guess.
that's awesome. Means you don't necessarily have to hunt like a really high level one, or if that's not even necessarily available to get those skills linked up. Phenomenal. I'm a big fan of anything that improves our kind of like access to skill slots on the skill menu too. And granted skills is one of those things because I feel like it's like a little bit over limiting now.
It's
Since we
always
have
one of those
items
big
popping in
Yeah.
and that.
drawbacks of the skill tied to an item. It's just like unless it's the level 20 version, you're already down one support gem right out the gate.
Yeah. It's just too
Yeah.
much of a loss at end game.
Yeah. I should really start using unset rings because I feel like I nearly always want one or two extra skill slots, but I guess that's the idea. But I don't know, I hate unset rings.
I'm
That's
actually gonna
crazy to me.
use one.
You're always filling up your. I always feel like I have just extra slots.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, I feel like
Impossible. Impossible.
this is interesting. That's interesting. I guess Lance is really efficient and lean, but I don't know. I feel like there's always more stuff I
I just
want to
don't like
equip.
pressing buttons, man.
No, fair enough. One button build. Yeah, I only need one skill slot.
You see, that's
Yeah.
the only thing we need. We just need to nerf damage more, because then Dan's gonna be like, I don't have enough damage. I need to click more buttons.
Oh my!
Mm.
I honestly, I would probably be like. I feel like the game's currently way overtuned in terms of how much damage we can get on things. I'd probably be
Sure.
pretty pro of them doing a bunch of heavy nerfs across the board. But I think that's always a concontroversial thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Nuki,
don't
I
nerf
sent
anything.
you
Just
an
increase
invite
everything's life by
collab thing,
50%.
by the
There you
way.
go.
Nice.
We didn't nerf you. Yeah. I think the ceiling has been pretty low in PoE2 from at least since like 0.2, if not always.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Shall we go into crafting? Random change
Oh
of
yeah,
topic.
Sure.
the topic
Go.
Mugi tried to open up earlier. 5 topics
Yes,
early.
I know you were excited to talk about crafting. So we'll talk first about what's being removed or changed, and then talk about the new stuff in context of that, I think. So the first one is the all crafted modifiers are now guaranteed, but items can only have one crafted modifier at a time. So that's like in the past, Path of Exile 1 had this system where it's like light blue text crafted mods. That is coming back. And now those are being limited to one. Desecrated modifiers are a separate track to that, but you can also only have one desecrated modifier. So this means, for example, you can't use an Essence of Body to upgrade a magic to a rare, and then also a perfect to remove add. If that's possible, I imagine it would remove it, but they probably just will make that not work. So And yeah, I think that kind of covers it pretty well. So I was a bit disappointed to hear this change because I quite liked the progression of like, perfect transmute org an item and then essence to get your third affix, and then like you were kind of doing your extra kind of abyss or perfect essence to get you to that 4 or 5 property item. I'm curious, you guys, hear how you guys think about this. I think this change is missing the context of like the metacrafting runes taking over some of the what we're losing here. But I'm curious about your thoughts about that change, kind of in isolation, I guess.
That's definitely what I think it is, but it's also like it is possible they just wanted to nerf crafting and make some of the more guaranteed stuff harder. They've shown us a decent amount of the metacrafting runes with the teaser they did yesterday. Stuff like being able to get an additional suffix, prefix, like 5 different influenced or 6 different influenced specific ones. Um, so it could be a combination of they want to dial back some of our guaranteed power slash if it's too powerful with the new meta crafts, but it kind of depends what all they have on those
I think
runes.
yeah, there's probably a bit of that. It also seems like maybe it's about making that kind of fourth and fifth and sixth modifiers a bit less deterministic. Like not being quite as guaranteed as they are. So through those runes, like you can influence those final crafts. But maybe so what I was worried about here is that we were kind of losing the physical feeling of crafting something. Like we were losing out on some of the actual crafting process because I quite like the existing process. But it is possible that they needed to remove the ability to say like have 2 essence modifiers because it would have restricted the amount of crafting that you ever wanted to do. Like now there's maybe a bit more tail actual things to do with the crafting on an item that's got like 3 good properties to get the last 3. That gives you, I guess that opens up the floor for more crafting to be done with meta runes and all that stuff.
Gives them more expansion they can do on it.
Yeah, so hopefully that's the case. Like this thing, even though in isolation, I look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm sad that they're doing that. But hopefully that's the case that, oh, well, it's actually making more crafting we can do. I am just a little bit worried about because what I really focus on with crafting is the entry and mid-level crafting. I want like more people to start crafting. I want more people to craft when they get to endgame and when they're halfway through endgame, because I think that sort of crafting can be really, really fun. Crafting those items that are like 60 to 80% of the way there. And that's something that I've tried to push a lot and have been disappointed whenever they've made changes that seem counter that. Like the changes to veiled chaoses and stuff in the past in Path of Exile 1, I felt like we're removing some of that low level kind of entry level crafting that I thought was really fun. So it's hard to judge this without feeling how runes feel like this. Do they feel like something
Yeah,
that people can do at entry level to mid level, or is it just
we're
late game stuff?
missing a lot of context.
Hmm.
I think yesterday when we
Yeah.
were talking, or not yet, was it yeah, it was yesterday when we were talking
Yeah.
about this, prepping for this. I was thinking that there was going to be more meta crafts that would like substantiate it, but after the reveal, which they did later
Have they
that
revealed them
night,
all?
no, they didn't reveal them all. They
No.
revealed a lot of them though, and none of
Because
those
it's
were like prefix or suffix can't be changed. So
they would have
I think
probably
I'm more
revealed
on
that too.
I'm more on the line that I'm thinking it might just be they wanted to nerf some of the crafting power, but
And
you
like,
still have more things you can do with them, but definitely a lot less of a
I think
straight line of what you're gonna do
yeah,
and how you're gonna add your mods.
it's I mean, to be fair, like they could probably afford to nerf the crafting power. We were literally just saying how player power is outstripping like content difficulty to a pretty high margin most of the time here, and being able to get to like a 5 property item that's like 90% of the way there quite easily with crafting, even at like lower end budgets, is part of that, right? And I was thinking about in that conversation yesterday, I was like, I walked away from our preliminary discussion about crafting feeling a bit better about it because I actually sat down and evaluated what do I actually really want to see. And I was like thinking, okay, I want to be able to have like the third and fourth modifiers, a 3 to 4 property item, even just a 3 property item where I know I can get 3 very good modifiers on an item pretty consistently with crafting at like entry level. I was like, that is kind of like my sweet spot. I would be happy with that. And it's currently past that. So this new system will mean that whatever, even if we just don't look at the runes and all the new stuff, like, yeah, your perfect greater transmute augments, and in essence get you to 3 properties quite well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy and sad at the same time about this. The sadness is most, well, I'll try and explain. So the happy part is like, I think power had to come down, and the iterations on items needs to be high in PoE. I think so. Like the low mid tier, not so high, but end game, it needs to be high. There needs to be a lot of iteration and a lot of like moving through items. And that was kind of short circuited by you just spam this one thing and it kind of finishes like very quickly. And you're
like
at the end.
Because like if you bring the entry point down a bit, so like whatever crafting can occur when you first kind of get to end game, that means you either have more like new items to upgrade through, like what you're talking about, but the other part of that is that same item upgrading as you progress.
Yeah.
I do quite like when an item has a story that plays out over the course of like a period of time, where it's like I get this item to like the 3 property mark, and that means there's a bit of headroom for it to advance. Like later on I get an item that lets me put in a bits modifier, now it's a good 4 property item. Later on then I get, I don't know, maybe one of the new runes, and now it becomes kind of like a good 5 property item with something that's more unique for my build. And then like, oh yeah, then the next layer is like 6th property or corruption or like, you know, upgrading it to a new item, maybe with an extra socket, especially this league.
I think one of the most important things with crafting in PoE is that there needs to be projects. I think that's one of the for if you play endgame, if you play past like the point of just, you know, winning one time, it's like projects is like is key. That you have something that's always moving forward. And I really like that about like what I'm seeing as well. Like what they're adding is like they're adding the 6th, the 7th, the 8th kind of thing on top, but it's super volatile. It gets harder and harder and harder for each step to hit perfect.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Yeah. And then it's like you decide when you settle. Settling, I think, is really important. And like, yeah. I think the most important thing with crafting for entry is that you get the things you need. Right? I need to fix my resist, I need to get enough damage, enough defense, and then we start moving past that point. Yeah. But the thing I'm sad about with the change here is actually I quite enjoyed the process of the crafting we just had, because the clicking and the iteration was actually bearable. And I think in PoE 1, crafting very quickly becomes unbearable. However much fun the thought of it is, the actual journey through it, and the alterate, put in, out, recombinate, metacraft to the you know, guy and the like the beasts, and it's just like it's so cumbersome. This is actually where when you showed me your bench, Siggy, I was like,
oh yeah,
I just thought, oh my god, give me that as like a medium for all this iterating.
The meme I've seen going around is they're doing a lot just to make sure that they don't have a crafting bench. And that got us talking yesterday about, like, when we were prepping, why, like, what is a crafting bench? What things can it be? And, like, why avoid it or why have it? I know what they're really trying to avoid, because I've explicitly had this discussion with some of them, is the long list of modifiers that you can do, and especially when they only exist in the bench. And like, I agree. I think the long list of modifiers is pretty lame. It is more interesting to have items, but it is also like cumbersome. It's more difficult to kind of understand all of the options available to you. And I had seen how Craft of Exile presents this, and I got to making my own crafting simulator. I just happened to wrap it in a game that I've been making, but my suggestion of what a bench could be, I've been kicking around for a while, is this a way of explaining and engaging with all of these different disparate things that Path of Exile gives you access to. So I think a crafting bench could show you, based on the item's current state, what is available to you at each step.
Show the
Let me
graphic.
put the video on the thing.
Yeah.
You grab it.
Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
The thing.
All right. This is a game what I made. And I have been building in it a crafting system. Obviously, it's something pretty basic at this point, but I've been building in it a crafting system that does this by showing you, by not having the crafts on the bench. The bench is just a communication tool to explain to you what you have access to at each point. So you can go ahead and play the video whenever you want. But the idea is that you pop an item in there and then it looks at the item's current state and it says, okay, in this state, you can do this. So like you've got a white item. It's like, oh, I've got an item that is effectively like transmute, augment, and exalt and regal all in one. You can add an extra affix to this item. Here's the affixes you can add. So you click like the exalt and then it shows you the list of affixes that you can get and you see your odds and all that. And then you can hit the slam button, you slam the exalt in there. And then, okay, cool. And it's like, okay, now you could chaos that, or you could exalt that, or you could change that. And obviously, if you have metacrafting things, it could highlight what metacrafting things are available and what targets them. Where this side really comes together, so like you click chaos, which is like single targeted affix reroll. It shows you the affixes that could reroll. You can select it, and then like reroll that specific affix, and it shows you the possible outcomes for each affix that you reroll as well. And then like, okay, and then once you get to the point where you've done that, like you've got as many affixes as you can add to the item, it communicates to you, oh, you can't exalt this item anymore because it's full now. It's like, oh, you can then vial it and it shows the outcome. And having like a log of what happened to the item too, oh my god, I would love that in PoE 2. Every time I craft something in PoE 2, I never know what actually happened on the item. It's like I have to pin open the two different things and play like compare on the two items because it's like the two item labels are like, what actually happened? Did anything happen? Half the time you use a vial, nothing actually happens. I hate that. I removed that feature in my game, by the way. But that's what I want out of a crafting bench. Now, I say that, but you could make an argument that it's a good thing to not necessarily know all of your options and all of the possible outcomes. I
I'm
would be open to
definitely a
that argument.
big appreciator of it not being telling you exactly what's going to happen and you having to like dig in and learn the system.
So I'm curious, like, how about that, but it doesn't show you what affixes you can roll, or it doesn't show you the chances of rolling them, just what affixes are available. Maybe it just shows you, oh, like, okay, if you use this essence, it highlights the mods that could change, that sort of thing, which they've started doing a bit of that.
Yeah, I think they already even is like currently functional in the game, right? They at least did it for all the Omen stuff, I believe. Like it'll highlight orange what things will change when you do the lowest level modifier because it wasn't clear. Like people were like, "Well, this is a high amount of life. Why is that the lowest level mod?" But it's because it's like this inbuilt uh like thing that's not told unless you go and look it up in PUDB or whatever.
I think so like you've got all these crafting items spread across all these stash tabs, and just being able to drop an item in there and it just show you that, like, hey, it just kind of brings to the fore, like it populates with your current options for the item. That just seems like a really like fun way to learn the system. Maybe it removes some physicality from these items. I mean, you can do stuff to improve that. You like have the item come out and slam into the item, like I was doing with my animations there. Um, but like it's like you put a white item in there and it shows you, okay, transmute. It shows you like an essence or whatever, and it shows you this other item. And then as you progress, it kind of like populates new things. All of a sudden, boom, this meta crafting option appears. This abyss thing appears.
I feel
So
like this. Oh, you go get Noogie.
if you think about like the strongbox, would the strongbox be better if you had to go to your inventory and do it the old way, or do we like the new strongbox thing, like the new strongbox interface?
Yeah.
I think it's
Except when I misclick and
Like,
don't
is there
click it when I mean to.
is there anything where you're like, this is taking away from PoE in your like world when you look at the strongbox implementation lens?
the strong box
Way
is
better.
just it's just saving you open your inventory essentially.
Well,
And
so
right
yeah.
click,
actually,
like-
it's doing two things. It's not just doing that. It's also telling you what you can do. You know already as a player, but a new player might not know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they've had the issue that a new player would never think that you could use a crafting item on
Yes.
some physical thing in the world, right? Like that you could drop it on a box is super
Yeah.
like, huh?
And like, how
I
far can I take
definitely
it?
have
Oh,
seen
can
that
I
through
just
the
click again?
years.
Click again?
Players
And
been
it's
like,
like,
I didn't know you could craft the boxes.
there's an exalt orb. Should I put?
How am I
I'm
supposed to know
clicking it.
that?
How many times can I do it? Now, here's the thing about the bench. It might actually, it would not actually even need to explicitly tell you any of the modifiers. It just needs to be an interface that
No, that's like an extra
shows
layer. Yeah,
that
I think
this is
like you could
applicable.
cut it a few points. You could cut it not showing any of the potential outcomes. You could cut it showing the potential outcomes, but not the odds, or you could cut it showing the odds, like going the full way, the full Craft of Exile experience. But like I suspect Path of Exile 2 would like not show you the possible modifiers, but just show you a PoE 2 well-fitting version of that would just surface the possible things you can use and what they would affect on the item, just because I think that's necessary.
Yeah. But the
Otherwise,
thing
it's
is,
a bit too
if you
ambiguous
look at like
sometimes.
a crafting bench, right? If it's your crafting bench in your hideout, you could lay out your stash around it, right? That's what you would do. You could immerse yourself in that train of thought. And then now
That's
you
an
have
interesting
you
idea.
have your omens and you have your, and it's all laid out and ready for you to craft.
Let you move them around yourself and place them yourself, and it like highlights them or doesn't highlight them depending. I like this idea of like your own customizable bench. Interesting.
It's
Maybe I
more
could
like
use
it's
it.
the idea that why it's like you're not an idiot all the time. Like why it's like you've stashed all your good things away like in 17 different boxes, and you have to go over to the bench every time you have to craft. That's stupid. You could just have a bench area
I mean
that
that
facilitates
crafting.
the crafting, so it kind of
I mean,
reduces
there's
the
an item
process.
slot on the currency menu, right? Usually, at least if they're in PoE1, is it there in PoE2? Anyway, I think it is. There's an item slot right there that's meant to be like a crafting bench. Why not just like have that highlight currency that currently applies to the item when there's an item in there? I think that would be the like most one-to-one current game implementation of it. If there's an item in there, it grays out items that can't be used right now. That would be like the tiniest step without any of the other fluff. How would you feel about that, Lance?
I feel like, well, what Nugi's saying is like if you click this quote unquote bench and it just pulls all the possibilities into that
Hmm.
interface. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but you could decide which ones you want to see. Like it's just so that not everything has to be. So here's the thing. The previous crafting that we have right now, I like it because the iteration on it is fairly straightforward. It's like you're doing simple things. Like in the beginning, it really is just you just perfect trans or whatever transmute until you hit the thing you do. Then it's just like one essence. Another thing, maybe you need to do one trip down in the deep, and then it's like ding 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 ding. And it's fairly simple. It's fairly straightforward. But I think coming in now with all the stuff that's gonna happen, with how you can't get all the way, there's gonna be so much more iterating. And if I just think back to PoE 1 and how much it just becomes this like very, very, very long journey of clicking things. If I could just have that be a more pleasant experience, i.e. through a bench and some interface that's meant to facilitate the crafting, I would enjoy that so much more. Because that's the thing I feel like I'm losing with going to this more like, we need more iteration also means more clicking, more of all that. And I just want the journey to be fun.
And I'm guessing neither
think-
of you are like a big fan of the PoE1 style crafting bench that's adding mods, right?
Oh, I like the PoE1 bench. Fine.
I'm whatever
Okay.
on the bench.
Do you feel like Runes takes that like adequately, or what's the like comparison there for you?
I think runes are doing a very similar thing of just giving you some guaranteed modifier that you can swap in and out. What it doesn't have that the bench currently, the more important thing for crafting in PoE1 is the meta crafting, which
Sure, yeah.
depends what kind of mods, what kind of control, what kind of variants that can make and how you craft your item. That might be its own thing for sure. Sorry, I blocked my mic. But I was gonna say for the UI interface thing, like I like the thought of being like, okay, whenever I want to do a craft, all my supplies are right here. But the thing is, there's so many things that I think you would just end up with a UI overload where it's kind of like a lot of it's 95 of these percent of this stuff you could use, but really for the craft you're doing, you only need 5% of, like, when I'm going to craft an item, I say, this is the resources and I get out these specific resources. But it's like, if I had this,
But
I'm having
whenever you
trouble
go, okay,
visualizing
think,
it not
okay,
being
just
just overloaded.
think of the strongbox. What does the
Well,
strongbox do?
the
It doesn't
strongbox
show.
has
It
a very
doesn't.
limited amount of things that can happen to it, but
Yeah,
other things
but
have way more things.
every step for an item has a similar thing. Yeah, I know some certain things like you could do, but like if the item is white, you can literally just do a couple things, right? There's not much you can actually do once you first pull it, so it doesn't need to reveal every option and
Like,
sitting
if you
there
have a
grayed
white item,
out.
you have 20 essences that'll pop up. You have alchemy, you have transmute, greater transmute, perfect transmute.
You
You
can just
have the
like you can
omens
just
that are,
say, hey, I don't want to look at those or look at those. Just like store them away. Like just make it good. So here, I actually PoE's crafting bench. I actually thinking back on it, I kind of hate it. Because like you would like think about like whenever you need to do like jewel or chroming thing, and you have to like find the right spot and back and forth and click 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 click, and this whole like, and then it's like, and then it's scoured, and you have to like scroll down to the scour, move the thing with the scour, and then up back again, and this whole like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it drives
it's
me
bad
crazy.
UX for sure.
It's just bad. It's just not well designed.
I think the thing you're wanting though would have a similar level of, you have to keep changing things based on the craft you're doing regardless. Like this, because there's just so many
Why?
things that you'll have to keep changing setting wise on it. That will be equivalent to like searching around your stash to get the specific resources.
I, I mean, if you make it, if you put no thought into it, sure. It's like I don't know. That just sounds like someone who didn't want to design it, who just threw everything in there.
Yeah, ideally you only see the things that are available to you and it does it automatically. That would be my dream crafting bench.
The
That's what I'm
Yeah.
things
gonna
that
try and make.
the things that are going to be available to you are a ton of things.
Here's the thing,
Yeah,
Lance.
like
If they added, okay, so here's the thing: you could do it the old school way, or they could
challenging.
have something like this in game. Would you mind?
What do you mean the old school way?
You could just do it the way it's done right now. What does it actually? What bad does it do for you that something like this could be available, even if it's not your preferred way
I'm
of
just
looking at it?
saying, I don't think it makes sense. Like, in terms of like, I I don't think you guys are considering how many things could apply to an item at every step of the craft. I think it's, and you're talking about like this personal thing where you'd have to customize it each time, each item you're putting in there. Like, there's so many variables of how many, like, you could say as the designer, they're going to forcibly give you these options, but as the person crafting, you might say, I want this other option. Like this, to me, I don't know. I think it's,
Well, that's why I think it's a good idea because it does like it helps you understand like through all of those very
Okay, here's the thing.
many different options
If you can
currently, right?
essence it, all it needs to show you is one essence. It needs to show you that this can be essenced. It doesn't need to show
And
you
then you can
every
choose
single one of them.
yeah.
Like
So you click it
you're
and then you click
like,
the essence you want.
yes.
That's probably I was just literally just thinking about, oh, how will I implement this if I, let's say, add essences? I would have it that it highlights that this item can be essenced. You select, and then you select the essence that you want, and then you go craft.
so what's the difference between you just clicking your essence tab?
It's showing you what's available to you at the time, all in one place, without you having to like click over
So
to your essence tab and find the essence, put it in your
what
inventory, and
happens when you pick up an essence off the ground? Your first time you run into an essence.
yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, like if you're just using it in a zone, you're not going to have a crafting bench. This is a crafting bench you go to when you like. I guess you could make it a
Like
menu you bring
this
up
just
anywhere, but
seems
that doesn't
like a
make sense.
lot of extra steps to
Point
like.
is, it would be less steps, right?
no, it's like I can just go simply sit and boop 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 boop. No need to like drag it out, drag it in, drag it out, drag my item around into this tab, everything into my
Yeah, I think you might be
inventory.
not
Right click,
envisioning
omen,
what we're talking about.
omen, back forth, back forth.
I'll make it and show you, Lance. I'll make it
Yeah,
and then let you play with it. And then you'll understand. I'll show you. I'll show the lot of you. I'm gonna
oh,
make it.
Anyways, having all these extra steps
anyways,
is what I'm not looking forward to. But I am
yeah,
looking
I
forward
think
to
that's
there
like
being a
big
longer
quality of life
journey.
there.
But I liked having fewer steps before. So if I could ever bridge these two things where the extra steps don't feel so painful, then that's my ideal game.
Yeah. I hope you play my game then, Nugi, and like it. The next crafting thing, we should probably move along, is they removed the recombinator. We almost forgot to mention it because I feel like I forget about the recombinator even existing, personally. I know it plays a huge role in some crafting, but
It's very strong, and yeah, it's gone.
yeah, it is. It's very strong, and it's a thing that's gone, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm going to miss it at all. I kind of was always a bit that it existed. Um, I don't know. Maybe you guys feel completely different about that. I don't know. I don't know why exactly. I haven't really thought about it too much. I just tried to just mentally disengage from the recombinator. It was in the too hard
Um,
basket for me.
it just kind of hurts like quite a few crafting methods. Essentially, it hurts your ability to clean bases. It hurts your ability to target certain mods together, type of thing.
Hmm,
Um, I think it's mostly just ultimately just a crafting power nerf taking it out.
sure. Um, did they say that they're doing anything with the expedition people
They're
that you
gone.
trade to? They're
They
just gone.
died or something. I don't
They're
know. They said
gone. They're all in the
all the
town being
vendors are
depressed
gone.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all in their ruined town being depressed. Like, obviously, that was like garbage. In its state that it was. I was kind of hoping they would do like a little bit more with that, but I don't know. I miss rod crafting. That was actually good. It was perfect kind of like entry mid level, get an item part of the way craft. But it certainly is the sort of stuff that could be emulated in the actual game's crafting systems rather than being relegated to just being like ROG, for example. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to make of or say about the recombinator change because I chose to not engage with it that much. But
I
I
mean,
think that's just because it wasn't fun, despite being powerful.
it wasn't particularly like an interesting thing.
Yeah,
You basically said, I need this affix from this item isolated, or I need to try to move it to this base or whatever. Um, I think it's most I feel like it's just they trying to just dial back some of the like maybe it was too powerful or something. They didn't want it in the game the way it
yeah.
was.
They probably could have gone through more iterations to arrive at a good recombinator, but for whatever reason, it's a shame I forgot to ask about this in the Q&A, but for whatever reason, they determined that it wasn't worth trying to do that. And I guess some of what the recombinator did could be done through runes. Like, they are doing a little bit of some of the similar ideas, like the ability to like take an affix off one item and put it on another can be done through runes. Like, they're doing that with uniques. So that sort of stuff could be done with rares and things too, if they were careful about it in some fashion, maybe. I don't know. I guess it doesn't seem like there's too much more to say about that one. But the new stuff we're getting, 17 new metacrafting runes. They revealed some or a good chunk of those apparently. I haven't browsed through those ones yet. What was your take on what sort of stuff did they reveal, Lance? And how does it look?
They revealed basically runes that essentially add like influence mods, which
Cool.
depending what mods are in the pool, that could be kind of some build enabling stuff in there, which is interesting. They
Yeah.
revealed +1 suffix as a rune, which is very powerful. I assume it means there's +1 prefix as well, which is kind of crazy when you consider like
Oh,
weapons,
that's
for
crazy.
example. Um, but the thing is, when you add an extra affix like that, your crafting cost goes way up. Uh, so it's probably going to be a lot of like some pretty high end, like you're giga invested with omens and stuff to try to protect your item. I think
Rune
it opens up
shapes.
interesting possibilities for endgame
Inscription.
crafts for sure.
All right. Cool. I'm excited about like this kind of discovery process of some of these influence crafting. I'm definitely like a little bit nervous that it makes like a ton more things that you have to go to Craft of Exile to even begin to understand what is possible to you. Like, it's definitely adding to that pile of stuff that where we're like considering all of the options of what's available to you to make an item means that coming up with your recipe of what you want to craft and how you want to craft it, it becomes more and more difficult. But I wonder if there's a point where they keep doing that, where all of a sudden it gets to, like, I feel like with this expansion as a whole, where I start saying, you know what, I don't have to come up with the perfect crafting recipe. I can kind of just go for any one of a number of different angles. There's so many options, and I'll probably will arrive at a pretty good item. Maybe there's a point that that's what ends up happening, and maybe that's fun. But I feel like this expansion and the way they're approaching crafting could solve the internet problem of when the internet came along. We got so many guides for games that the mystery of games started to, fade away, and we lost something there. Which I say this as someone who makes guides. I love guides. They help people discover the depth of games and the joy of them. But at the same time, something is lost there where you lose some of that kind of like mystery and exploration. So maybe if they just had so much stuff, people can make guides all day long, but there'll be so many guides that you can find a guide to whatever specific thing you want to do, but ultimately trying to learn everything just becomes a non-starter. So you start to arrive at a situation where the game is mysterious again. I feel like PB2 is getting there.
I
Huh.
feel like for the
That
make
is
the game mysterious again, I'm really hoping for like for example, they have this new influence mods, and they showed us just like a couple of like the possibilities. I'm really hoping they succeed at it not being data mineable in terms of like, I
Yeah.
put this thing that says I'm going to give you berserking mods on a helmet. It was like that was like one of them, and I was like, well, what could that be? Maybe it's like attack related stuff, but I don't really know what's in that pool. I'm hoping it's not data mineable, so it's like we actually have some people like first time putting it in and just
Well,
throwing some chaos orbs and see what pops up.
yeah, that's the other thing is like, kind of not necessarily even needing to hide the data just because there's so much of it. It's like the barrage of information, so it becomes too much too. It becomes unsolvable just because there's too much to get there,
People
which
are
I think could
crazy,
be a really
man.
good thing.
now imagine this. Imagine you can take two different types of crafted mods from two different runes and put them on the same item, and it generates a new affix.
Like
They
a
merge
fusion,
together in
like a
some way.
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Nice. I like it. Someone in chat mentioned a comment I quite liked is like it creates a new kind of social interaction between players. But it's like, oh, I've actually been crafting my item this kind of way. It's like, oh, okay, I've actually been doing it this way. Let me link you a guide for this method, and then you like talk about that guide. Like that starts to foster some more community interaction. Things aren't quite so easily solvable. It's an exciting prospect. People are communicating a little bit more. We 0-7ing. Oh no, Lance died again. No!
No.
Come
Yeah.
back to us, Lance.
Let's come back.
I'm on my phone now. I think my
Yeah.
internet died again.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not gonna make it.
he's not gonna make it.
He's not. It's just me now. Oh no. Terrible. That's the worst. That's the worst version.
Wait, hold on.
It's just you.
Is it working? Are we getting back?
I'm back
Oh, he's. Oh.
again.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
dude,
Okay.
my-
Okay.
All right.
Oh, much better. Oh,
Don't
shoot.
shuffle everything, Noogie.
Sorry,
No,
guys. I
no,
don't know what's
it's
going on with
okay.
my
We're back in
internet.
there.
Ah.
So on the
I gotta
crafting
say,
front, they
Siggy, the thing you just
Go ahead.
mentioned, like them just cluttering more things for the purpose of it being discoverable, and there being like just too much stuff that you can. What was the way how you said it? That perspective is so
yeah, it becomes
refreshing.
unsolvable.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was like, oh, I like this.
Well,
Because I was
yeah, we
thinking
have
like
this feeling like
300
we need to
runes
understand everything.
seems stupid, but like it's like it's actually is it smart? Are they actually are they that
Like-
clever?
Yeah, it does seem dumb to add so many runes because like how are we supposed to understand all this? But what if that's the point? But it's like unwieldy. It's like unwieldy and overwhelming. But like, what if that's the point?
That's a good
As long
thing
as you present
sometimes.
that in piecemeal ways or in a
Yeah.
way that feels good to discover, like it is a thing that can become a problem if it's presented in like a giant list of crafts. That's why I think the crafting bench is not a good idea. If the crafting bench list
Right.
gets longer and longer and longer, then that maybe is a bit of a problem. But I think if it's presented to players in the right way, where they are just kind of exploring things, and part of the moving leagues into their kind of like things the way they are on the atlas, I think is part of that, because you go over to the breach area and you discover the tree and you start crafting just jewelry. It's just a small slice of this whole system. And then you start crafting just specific types of jewelry. And that's only surfacing a small part of the crafting system to you. But then when you start doing a second one, you find something new, and then that plugs back into what you were doing before. It's like, oh, these minion rings I've been crafting can interact with this mechanic. Like,
I think
if there's less stuff, you'll be inclined to say, okay, I need to learn all the options. But if there's just so much stuff, that's not even possible. You're forced to explore. I don't know. That sounds exciting to me. Maybe some people sounds like a nightmare.
I think it's a beautiful thing when they have very specific stuff that's just to this piece of content, and when it's just the thing in your current
Yeah.
view, it's consumable and you can appreciate it. And you were talking about the 500 runes discovering, but it's like every time you interact with the mechanic, you're chiseling away, and it says, "Hey, there's a couple combinations here," and you're like, "That's one I haven't seen before." And it's
Yeah.
not just all at once, not all shoved in your face. It's consumable, it's appreciable. So I think it works in that way. I'm really
Awesome.
hoping it's not data mineable. I'm hoping it still be
Yeah.
moments where I'm like, I'm opening it and this is something I haven't seen.
Yeah. That would be nice.
They're adding resistance swapping. One of my favorites. Resistance swapping is just like such a nice like quality of
That's
life thing, because it let you keep an item and it let you change
it's so
items
needed for
around.
PoE too,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah, especially with the way the like that you can't essence so much anymore, because that was kind of how you solved it. I think that you had good options to just essence a couple times, and you could create like the good resist you needed.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That
that's the way you were solving. The way I was solving it was switching 3 more gear pieces every upgrade.
well, I mean,
That's the problem, and that's the problem, right? Like, that's the problem that
Yeah.
resistance swapping solves, is that it's hard to be excited for a cool item drop or a cool item craft when you have to, oh, I gotta find
Yeah,
replacements
yeah.
for these other two
I
items
put
that are
this
gonna
on,
be
but I'm
like,
gonna start
and it's
chain
not
dying to cold damage.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna be exciting because, like, you're not really getting new items, you're just getting slight variations of items you already have, most likely. You're just like, oh, I need to get the exact same item, but with cold res instead of lightning res. So
Yep.
resistance swapping lets you keep
Yeah.
that, lets you keep your progression going, and lets you be excited about new items that you can change. Yeah, huge fan of resistance swapping coming back. I'm glad, and a little surprised. I might not have. To me, it seems like one of those like power features, one of those quality of life features that they might not have put in PoE2. And in the past, I might have been like, they would never do that. That's certainly not coming to PoE2. I might have thought, but there you go. That's good. Excellent. Yeah, we talked about the breeze tree giving highly specialized crafting for jewelry. You can craft caster and summoner jewelry specifically, or just targeted normal jewelry. Like, I think it's easy to think of it, it's like, oh, it's just for crafting caster or summoner stuff, but there's specific mod pools that you can only be gotten through those for jewelry. I love the idea of like super niche things, because it gives someone a job in the PoE economy. And I love that. And
There's a
people feel
purpose for
excited
everyone.
about being the guy for something, Yeah, there's a job for everyone. It's like, I'm the guy making this specific type of minion amulet or whatever.
I
But yeah,
like
you'll
that
be
the
able
trees
to go ahead.
there's like a really large amount of like specialization in it compared
Yeah,
to the tree we
there's
have
way
in
more.
PoE1 where
Yeah.
it's pretty broad. It's nowhere near as like targeted. This is the type of thing I'm exactly going for. Sorry, I was just saying I like the trees that
Yeah, no,
they're
No, I like it
it's a
too.
banger.
I'm
I'm
very
excited about
excited.
that. I think it's a good example of that one league kind of just surfacing a small part of the crafting system, but also being very deep and niche and satisfying in its own right. And I hope it feels good. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot more nodes there, so a lot of really granular control over the crafting. I wonder how powerful it's going to end up being. It seems like it would be powerful, given the amount of like blocking and stuff there is. You can block specific bases or enable specific bases or mods or etc. There's so many crafting stuff they added. They added jewel essences, the ability to guarantee certain mods on jewels. I guess with everybody having 5 new jewel slots thanks to voices, maybe not 5.
there's no way that like JSON file is correct. There's no way it's a 5 passive voices. I refuse to believe. 4 is already insane. There's no way they're just like, yeah, 5 jewel
Well,
sockets, 1 jewel. to rule
It's
them
probably like a
all.
corruption-esque thing where you can get a overcapped version of it or something like that. Like that's the way I would do it, right? Like say 4 passive voices, which are going to be worth, I don't know, mirrors, and then you have to gamble it to maybe get a 5 socket one. Like
Could
that's hell
they
yeah, that's how I'd do it.
could they have data mineable stuff in the game that doesn't actually exist in the game? Like, could it just be a meme?
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. They can
there's
just
stuff
have
like
like
that
files
happen
that they
all the time.
tested, but then don't commit to live, but it's just in the
Yeah,
back
they
end.
should do
That
more
stuff
of that
exists.
though, because they throw.
There's more smoke
I'm
and mirrors.
misleading
Because
it.
then people, it's like you could just keep people guessing. It's like, is it there? Is it? I don't know. I don't know.
It's a little risky because it's a bit like announcing a change before you've committed to it. In a sense, like technically it's not legit information. It's data mined. It shouldn't be taken as gospel, but people will. Like, as far as anyone's concerned, there's
Well,
5
as long
passive
as long as
voices,
it's verifiable after the fact, right? It's just like the reason why people take the data mine seriously is because it's true, like almost all of the time. If you can't trust it, then
Yes, I guess they can make it less and less trustworthy over time by putting more random stuff in there.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe not.
Yes. Like so voices. I wonder how like affordable the 2-socket voices is going to be because
It's gonna be
so
expensive.
unlike Path of Exile 1 voices, if you haven't seen it, it's a jewel that you socket into your skill tree, and in Path of Exile 1 you have to spend extra passives to get extra jewel sockets, and the quality of the jewel is based on how many passives you have to spend. So it always costs you something though. In this case though, you just put it in a jewel socket and it turns 1 socket into 2 sockets. And there's no extra cost there. So it seems like a jewel that 100% of everybody is going to want to at least
It
get a
is.
cheap one, right?
The demand is every player in the game, and
Yep.
I'm calling
That's high
not
demand.
only is like obviously the rare variation rare to get when you drop a voices. I think the baseline just getting the 2 passive one or the 2 jewel one, I think that's gonna be a baseline rare drop. So it's gonna be rare onto rare.
So
Yeah, what do you
what
reckon? So like,
percent wise of killing
yeah,
Tang
boss,
Masu?
boss
I
kills
think it's gonna be
10%?
lower than a 1 in 10 drop rate just for
1 in
the
10 for,
chance.
Oh, so
for any
10%.
voices to
Okay.
drop?
Yeah. Not
Oh,
not
1 in
like a
10.
1 in 50, not like
Oh,
baseline
okay.
1 in 50. I think a baseline 1 in 10, which is that's still pretty rare. I think that's enough where if they make it a pretty fraction on top of that.
But that means that on trade you can if you play, like if you actually play and it's 10%, you'll get one. Like you'll get
So
one.
Yeah, if you're like
that would be like,
it's a very achievable goal for like every player who actually plays through the end game.
that would be like a dedicated farmer getting like one of those an hour or something. That would be that would definitely put it in the valuable tier. Like that would be worth divs, you know. That wouldn't be worth a
I
couple
think
cows.
its demand is just gonna be insane because I just don't see a world where you
Infinite.
ever don't use it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah. Yeah. To an extent, like players only need one and they can share it between their characters. So that's like one of those items that's pretty transferable. But still, that's still about as high demand as you get in Path of Exile. Every single player wants at least
yeah,
one.
every single player in the game.
Yep, that's a good one. Interesting, but I mean they've made a conscious choice there. It's not like they weren't aware that that would be the case. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that one's worth. I want more. I always find myself wanting more jewel sockets though, because like you can do interesting things with jewels, and there is very few of them. So
Yeah.
I'm in favor of it just for that alone. Okay. We next topic on our list was endgame. We have talked a lot about endgame kind of already, haven't we?
Yes.
Haven't we talked about? We haven't talked about the 100%able Atlas tree. How do you guys feel about the core Atlas tree that you can fully complete? Though it does have the context that's important to remember that there are passives that you can select. They're modal. You can swap between different versions of them, and you can change those instantly when you want. And then that's for stuff that you. This is a very important distinction that Jonathan was talking about. Like the stuff that goes on the main tree is the stuff that you can't predict very easily coming up in a map. So you can't see, oh, this map is happening, so I need to respec my tree, because that is a pain in the ass, right? Like it's bad gameplay to have to change your tree
right.
every time you see a new map coming. For that stuff, they moved it to the masters. Like that stuff is supposed to be in the masters. The stuff you can instantly hot swap very easily
Oh.
is the stuff that you can see coming. There's delineation between like stuff like just enhances your maps in general, or it's random stuff that you can't predict versus the stuff you know is coming, so you can do your little tree, your master tree swaps quickly. Brilliant.
That is
That's
brilliant.
good. Hope that plays out really nicely.
That is
But how do you guys feel
just
about that, like that 100% completable tree with that full context of like the picture of what they've made there? Because I think people are kind of missing the context of that when discussing this a lot.
I love it. Straight up. I think this
You
is
like the full
just
completable tree, or the swapping, or all of it?
yes, just like the everything.
Yeah.
Everything around this. Everything around the Atlas compare yes. The one thing I always wanted in PoE 1 was just it to be more easily like modifiable and malleable. And less like I have to sit there and because the way I play the game, so I play a lot of SSF, and sometimes you have like, okay, I need to farm that thing. I set up my tree, and then you find it within the first 3 maps. And you're like, I did all this work. I have to redo this, respec all of this to start the next thing. Because I hadn't even farmed up the unmaking orbs or like gold or whatever to like do the respec. And I'm like just stuck here with this. Oh my god. Or if you're like, I just want to like do this, do that, do this. I was like, oh, I'm bored of this. I wanted to try that. Like sometimes you just want to try a bunch of different things. And it's like, it's such a hard commit. Because it's like to really try it, you have to go all the way for it to really feel it. Or for it to be impactful enough. And I'm so happy that I can just click the what's it called, like the masteries now, and there's not this like full committal every time. It's to me that's just heaven.
So a bit more context and details. I believe all of the respecing is free. Certainly the masters are, but I think all of it is. You don't need to respec the core tree. Any of the decision-based stuff can be changed freely. The ones that you don't fully complete, I believe, are the league mechanic mini trees. Those
I
are
think
not
they
full
said in the
completion
interview
still.
those are fully completable. The
Those
DM
are fully
gathered
completable?
them. That
Oh, okay.
they asked that question.
All right, either they changed that or I missed that detail. That's awesome. Okay, so those are fully completable then. So it's all the core so it is just the masters that you're not like choosing every node of, because those are things that
Yeah.
you want this or that, you know, like the trade-off based things. Anything that's trade-off based has been moved to that stuff you can swap around easily.
I'm definitely on the much more skeptical side. I'm like, I'm open. I'm
I
excited to
understand
try
that.
it, but I am like, this feels like we're losing our ability to have some identity in what we're doing. Because at the end of
Agreed.
the day, every tree is going to be the same minus like a couple of flip nodes. So
Yeah.
I'm skeptical. Overall, maybe I'll play and I'll just be like, you know what? I don't, maybe I was wrong for thinking I was attached to this tree.
Mhm.
But for me, I'm definitely not as like overwhelming. I know this is gonna be good. I'm doubtful, but we're 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have this podcast, and you guys can ask me again about after I've actually
Mm.
tried it. But I do not have full confidence in it. I'm going in skeptical. I want to try it, keep my mind open, see if I actually like just the way it is. But it's hard for me. I like to cling to these parts of PoE where you have this ability, this control of this specific identity of where you're doing
Yeah.
this thing, you're making these decisions, you
I
know?
think you still have
See,
that with tablets and with routing and with all the choices you're giving on, like, you know, whenever the ritual splits in two, the choice. Now you have to layer it with the right amount of like the right tablets, and you have to layer it with the right master, and you have to layer it with the right atlas.
well, the Atlas is the same, apart from I guess some of the modal choices. But
Yeah, but
I
you
guess
you
it depends on
you
how many of those modal choices there are and how impactful they are.
we don't know I
Yeah.
hope they're impactful. I hope that the
Because
atlas tree
that's where the
does
difference
have
come
some
from.
impact, but it's like that it's easily adjustable.
Yeah, I am more on the side of Lance for this one as well. Like I think like it's a very clever thing, this having the clear delineations between content that you expect is coming and then understanding that that's the sort of stuff players are going to want to respect. So making that really comfortable to do. I love that. But I am very nervous that like I don't want a game that plays itself. I kind of somewhat trust GGG to not do that, because they don't really want to do that. They don't really want to make an action RPG that plays itself. So hopefully there is enough decision making on this tree that it doesn't feel like everyone's just using the same tree and the same nodes.
But that's what I felt like
So I'm
PoE
a little
1
worried
is
about
right
it.
now. Like the Atlas in PoE 1, I feel like it's like whatever thing you're enhancing. So the only difference is like, do I enhance these two or these three? But the way you enhance the different things are more or less always the same. And it's like, do I want Altar or do I want Maven? And like, how do I get as much effect? Like, how do I get the little hat on every tree? You know, it's
The
like
hat of on every tree hat.
It's like,
The hat of effect.
yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah, ultimately the most important thing is going to be like how fun it makes the content and how quickly it makes that content fun as well. And
Yeah.
part of what I think is really clever about this new endgame design is that at the start you go into the fortress and your content is juiced because it's pre-juiced, right? It's like handcrafted juicing, that your content has interesting stuff in it right from the outset. And as that starts to fade away, you have a good chunk of your tree that's hopefully making everything really exciting again. So it seems like we might have juice from day one, and it only kind of gets better from there. And hopefully that's the end result. Even if we end up with trees that are kind of all the same and we're not really like making much decisions, maybe it's a better end game for it.
But
We'll
we're
see. I
making
don't
so
know.
many decisions. The tablets, the modifiers. Do you do those two, those three?
Well,
Like
we're already
which
making those decisions,
biome?
though.
You make decisions all the time. There's so many decisions all the time. Chicky.
They did change the way the like tablets work a little bit. If you guys didn't catch that little detail, is that how do I even explain it properly?
It
So
controls the mechanics that spawn, basically.
yeah, you are blocking stuff by if you use 3 breach tablets, you get either a 3 times size breach or 3 breaches. It depends on the mechanic. And it blocks other things. So each tablet you don't put in is a slot that can be a random thing. So you can do 3 breaches, you can do 2 breaches and a delirium, you can do 3 deliriums, you can focus. So like this sounds like a pretty good layer of extra control over this. Or you can do like 2 specific ones and then a generic one, which I guess would leave a slot open. I assume there's still like a generic kind of tablet.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
like
an
powerful bosses or
irradiated.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing. And it was easy to miss detail that is going to be a pretty impactful one. A much stronger control over what content you're actually playing. And it acts as the blocking nodes from the PoE1 Atlas tree. Somewhat.
Those are
And you
classy
automatically block
nodes.
all the stuff you don't want. Yeah. It's good. All right. Anything else on the end game that you guys can think of you want to talk about? So much stuff to talk about probably in 2 weeks when we've played it all. Or
Yeah.
some of it, maybe not even all of it, probably.
I feel like that's like honestly the end game is so hard to like talk about because it's like we have to play it. It's just like how does it actually feel? I don't know. It's a big
GG
unknown.
posted something. What kind of something? The sort of something we'd want to look at here. Let's have a look. User
wanna play
experience
it.
improvements in Return of the Ancients. Oh, quality of life, mate.
They're hitting us with another one.
Yeah. Let me get. I'll put the link in the chat.
Quality of life. They just
Yeah,
made
let
a
me put
bench.
it. I'll put it in the Canva, and we can all watch it together then. How do I do that? Where are you, Canva? One of these bloody tabs. I've got so many. That's just a link. Oh, Lance is on it? Oh, Nugi's on it. Good job.
Got it. I'll play it with sound. Or do
Great.
you want me to just play it with sound?
Yeah, just give me a countdown.
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can.
Give me a 3, 2, 1, go.
Hard. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it interactable. Oh, there we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
On Path of Exile 2. We've added a ton of new
Look at that
quality of
Atlas.
life features
So
in
beautiful.
Return of the Ancients. Here's a couple you'll find useful in the endgame. The Atlas now has a search box that updates live as you type. If you have a specific map you'd like to run, just key in the name of it and you'll be able to locate it
There we
instantly. Hitting enter will move you from map to map, allowing you to easily move between them.
Oh, mate.
This works on more than just map names. You can find
Enter.
biomes, powerful bosses, or even specific mods. Really anything about a map you can think of.
Wait,
And this can come in handy if you get specific tablets that you
Headhunters.
want to use with
Fun.
specific mechanics. So for example, if you get a tablet that adds extra essence encounters, you might want to run it with a map that boosts essences. By typing essence in the search box, you can find maps that will affect them, like this map, which causes essence packs to have 2 rares in them. Now that we have
Good.
trade market search built into the game client, we've also added the ability to price check items you find more easily. Shift-Alt clicking an item will now instantly search for it on the trade market, showing you the current prices.
Shift Alt click.
For rare items, it's handy to exclude some mods, so we've added the ability to enable and disable each modifier individually, letting you see exactly how each one affects the item's price.
Automatic ranges.
And that's
I
not
did
all.
that. That's
The
good.
Fragment Stash tab is
Necessary.
finally coming to Path of Exile 2, and with it comes some serious tabception. This tab is a dedicated storage for various boss fragments. There's also a tab for all your precursor tablets, with each tablet type receiving 6 tabs of storage. Finally, there's storage for your Jinn
Tab.
barriers and inscribed ultimatums, both of which also get 6 tabs each. Speaking of changes to stash tabs, with the Runes of Aldo League, there's a ton
Fine,
more
I've done
runes
mine.
that have been added to the game. In order to fit them, we've modified the Socketables stash tab. There are now 5 substashes for runes, Kalguran runes, soul cores, idols, and ancient
All those
ornaments,
runes. Oh,
Jesus.
giving you much more space for all those runes. All these features
Great.
and much more are available in Return of the Ancients launching May 29th.
Huzzah!
Thanks for watching,
Good
and
stuff.
see you at
I
launch.
think we knew about all those, but seeing them and how they're working is really awesome.
Yeah.
And they look sick. All right, where are we at?
No, the Atlas,
Okay.
the Atlas search bar is gonna be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that actually means I am actually going to look for like where I might want to run a certain thing.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah. Because before I wasn't really like if I saw something, yeah, I was hardly going to search for certain
Yeah.
maps or modifiers all the time.
Drag and scroll through.
Yeah.
I think they added a. I don't know if they mentioned this anyway, but I'm pretty sure you zoom out slightly more now too. So I know that was a bit of an issue. It was quite zoomed in, wasn't it?
I wish you could like zoom out even more and it would just show you like biomes and not the individual
Yeah,
nodes.
people have mentioned that like again like Crusader Kings and that where you zoom
Yeah.
out and it kind of turns into like a drawn map, something like that. I
That would be very cool.
don't know how that would work here, but maybe that would help. Okay, classes and build discussion, aka Lance and Nugi help Ziggy pick his League starter. Let's first talk about the 2 new ascendancies. Monk, Martial Artist. Who wants to take the lead on explaining and talking about their thoughts on the Monk, Martial Artist ascendancy? I did actually play a little bit of this one, but I don't think that makes me very well equipped because
We
it
could
was
have
half
the
finished.
guy who played Spirit Walker describe the martial artist badly, and then have the martial artist guy talk about this. I think both Doogie and I have done the exact like.
I
done the
don't
Spirit Walker a lot.
know Spirit Walker at all. I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, I have not looked at martial artists too much.
So we're go ahead, Nugi.
Right. I mean, we can just take them node for node, or like, I mean, I'll say this: it's a powerhouse. That's the first. That's like the first thing there is to say. It's
Yeah.
just a powerhouse. Defensively, it's probably with. It'll definitely. I think it'll rival Invoker, defensively. So Invoker can do the whole like meditate thing, but that's even like so a lot of people probably don't even like having to like meditate and all that. It's very powerful to do. But the glove node here can give you up to 20% more evasion and energy shield. Just that in itself, and the gloves becomes pretty much close to a full chest in terms of stats.
The gloves are
Chest and a weapon in one.
insane.
Crazy. It's like just like raw like defensive stats. This is already a powerhouse, and like all the unique mods on there. So it turns stats into like flat crit chance, onslaught on attack speed. I think is onslaught. You can get quality. Like I think +2 melee skills is 10 quality. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
So this is just one ascendancy point. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a crazy one.
So glove is crazy. I think they nerfed. Did they buff it again? I don't know. The Way of the Mountain looked to be in
Is
the
that
first
one where you, like,
iteration
meditate?
very strong. So the Way of the Mountain is the surpassing chance on disabling. It's like the freeze is done. And you get like this like little buff that you can expend on, I think, either attacks or getting hit. You can have up to 30 of them. 15% more damage. It's nice. It was 20. So that's fine. But then the DR went from 70 to 40. I think this node would have actually been like a no-brainer for like campaign. At least before. Now it's like, it's impactful, but not as much.
I mean, it's still pretty freaking good, though.
It's good. I mean, it was under the right conditions. It was potentially very strong before. Now it's more like can you make use of it? Probably. It's the kind of thing that's like, but Way of the Mountain is kind of one of those things because it checks against your like. How is it? It's 30%. Any attack that does less than 30% of your max HP gets mitigated by 40%. So the more you use content, and let's say you're using like minus max crit damage, and like as damage goes up in the end game, this becomes less reliable. But
the opposite of what I want now.
Yeah, but against static content like pinnacle bosses, you could absolutely set it up to where it always applies when you want it. Yeah, so it's this like, it's potentially very, very strong. Then you have probably the flashiest thing is probably Holoform Technique. It's the one that you channel. You can move while channeling, and then spirits will come, or ancestral spirits will come out, and they will start doing their attack. It can be empowered.
Can I ask you a specific question about this?
Yeah.
Is it 9 times damage? I've heard claims about it being 9 times damage.
No.
How much damage is it? Just
depends on the skill.
There.
Yes.
Give me like an average expected amount that you think you're getting from it.
I think. Let me see. So it's like I mean it's double damage.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry, I just wanted to settle an argument. Don't worry about it. All right, thank you.
But it's like it can be more. I think it's because it's a very tricky one, because it's like the channel rate is not well, actually the 18 is not impossible or whatever, given the right circumstance. No, but it's like, but I don't know if there's a weapon or there's a setup in the game where this is enabled. But so the thing here is that you can scale things that are unscalable with attack speed.
Yeah, that's the most interesting potential. It's like being able to use things in a way that you can normally. I'm a little bit like, I think this one's going to be very powerful in very specific cases, but as like a general user, I'm a bit skeptical on it. I was messing around with it, and like it's changed probably a bit since I was messing around with it. I'm like, oh, this is a hard skill to get right. This is a tricky one. And obviously you need a source of power charges to be nice and consistent as well. So
don't click it without a power charge. It's just don't click it unless you have a power charge. It just triples.
Yeah, it's not something you can take don't take it in the campaign. It's a 2-pointer you can take in the campaign. Probably don't do that. Take the bell.
Well,
take
you can take it in the campaign. You can, if you have power charge generation. There's plenty of ways to power charge generate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But I wouldn't take it as the first points though.
You're an animal. You're gonna start. What are you devouring every monster? What's going on there?
Yeah, you devour one monster and then you delete everything. Or you stun you can just wind blast.
What skill would you use?
And then or like, what is it? Wind. There's like 2 wind skills. There's the wind monk skill, wind other skill, and then you get and then you get 3 power charges, and you literally win. Like you one shot. Like that cycle will absolutely work under the right setup. That kills the boss every time.
Yeah,
like that 3 power charge setup.
Okay.
Well, I think at least you can set it up. It's that way. So it's very strong. But it's very good for anything that has fixed attack time or an attack rate that is lower than the channeled attack rate.
Does it work with any weapon type? I couldn't quite remember. Like, does it work with like a mace, for example?
Yeah. So okay,
And you get, like,
there,
Power of the
okay. There's
Gods or something
actually
with it then?
there's
Does that work?
there is one thing that could break it. If it functions like General's Cry, in
Not sure.
PoE General's Cry, every instance of General's Cry is its own unique instance, which means that there are like lingering effects that these things do that you can stack. Now, there's fissures in PoE are usually tied only to your character, but if they're now tied to the individual ones, you can not like you could 9x the fissures and you could slam them all.
This is a wild card of skill.
That's a scary
It's like a
one.
nightmare to balance.
Yeah,
Balancing nightmare for sure.
that is there's scary potential here. So, yeah.
Mm.
Then
the
there's
other one's the bells.
Yeah,
The bells. Yeah.
bells.
I did mess around with these ones a bit. There's the bells that auto place themselves around you, and you can like palm them to get power charges, or they just pop and blast enemies around them. And then the bell on your back seems insane. It pulses with damage whenever you crit, right? So
yeah,
it seems like a clear speed machine.
Yeah.
Just like through a map. It's just critting off your back. Seems kind of nuts.
It sounds really nice
Maybe.
if you are doing something where you have like a movement skill oriented playstyle.
Yeah.
And then you need that damage as you come in. So like if you're palming around or pouncing or leaping or whatever it is you're doing, and you're not doing much damage as you come in, or you're putting a debuff that needs to be consumed immediately, then the crit on the bell can do that for you. That is what they showed with like Shattering Palm.
I can't remember the exact one, but you can add like an extra charge or something to the bells that appear around you, and it basically increases the rate at which they spawn. And I was like, this doesn't seem intended. And I asked specifically, and I said, yep, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be.
Wait, extra charge?
So, yeah, like I'm trying to remember exactly if it was this. Sorry, because I didn't.
Wait, does
didn't end up reviewing the
overabundance
footage.
spawn too?
I think it's overabundance. Yeah, it makes it basically spawn more. Like you would think, oh, you can have one extra max or something, but it.
Are you
sure?
Are you sure you didn't play it before they changed it to cooldown? Because before it was based on duration.
Possible.
Now they changed it to cooldown.
Just test it. Just test it. Make sure. But yeah, just try it out. Because I tried something and I was like, that doesn't seem like it just made it way better. It meant that it was proccing way more often, and I was like, oh, that doesn't seem intentional by us, and they said it was. So
no, but that was intentional before.
Just try anything related to charges or cooldown stuff, because
I'm pretty sure it was duration when
there was
you
like
played it.
Night and day for the quality of it. So there's probably a mandatory gem there, I'm thinking.
No, I think it's changed. I think you played an early version.
Okay, maybe.
Because they literally so from like they is this updated? If it says here,
it wasn't this month ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just they've just changed it. I think that was duration. Just overabundance is specifically duration.
And here Ziggy said he didn't get anything nerfed, guys. So
I think that was a broad change than just me. Yeah, cooldown thing.
Yeah, I mean they did it to the time, the persistent dual or gem as well.
Yeah. So martial artist looks pretty lit.
It's very good.
Definitely want to try that one at some time. But are you guys starting martial artist?
Oh no, we forgot like another one. Probably the one that they didn't show, but we have now.
Oh.
The combo points. That any attack enables combo points. This is the thing.
I just got a confirmation from GGG they did change the like overabundance thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Thanks, team.
No, so basically you can use any weapon set and any attack type to generate combo points.
That's kind of cool.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing stuff with bells. So like, there are some. Okay, so I will snitch right now because this needs to be deleted. I shot bell where you can shotgun with every single shard onto the boss needs to die. Okay, guys, I'll spill the beans. At a level 20 gem, it is 7,500 effective damage. Snipe is like 3,000. It's like double sniping, and you can literally just spam it.
I know what I'm playing. I'm surprised they went the route with the bells making you have
I'm
multiple of
sorry,
them.
guys. This needs to die.
I thought they'd reinforce the big single bell, but for some reason they've gone doubled down on like more and more bells. 'Cause how many bells can you place now? 3, 4 bells?
3? Oh, I love that.
3, one on your back, the one you're randomly spawning.
Well, yeah, 3 of the main bells, and then you back one on the random ones too. So you got like 7 bells on the field.
Oh yeah, we can ancestrally boost them. That's so cool. It's triple bell, like boom.
Yeah, you just reminded me of the ancestrally boosted spells thing. Oh, so sick.
Wait,
That's
spells
awesome. I
as
think
well?
ancestral
Oh,
like
yeah.
boosting is just a good mechanic. It helps
forgot
with
about
like
that.
self
That's
cast. It
cool.
helps with like big single cast stuff. It just feels good. I like it. I kind of wish the color was different though. I don't really like the green color they went with this time. I miss PoE1
I mean, that's just the
ancestral.
animation they have
Cool.
for all the other ancestral boost stuff, right? The
Yeah.
Yeah, I
green
know, but I
spike.
don't like the color scheme of it. It's kind of weird. Why's it green? I guess
You
the
miss like old
Karui kind
Fist
of
of War with
jade
like the red.
stuff. Yeah, I like the Fist of War red stuff more, but anyway, that's hardly
fair enough.
important. Okay, so that's Monk. We also have Huntress, the Spirit Walker, which I know has some excitement from you, Lance, specifically for the boss companion stuff. There's a few things going on here. I'm curious about. So, tell us about that first, and then we'll explore what are the other parts of Spirit Walker. Tell me about the. What are you doing, Lance, and why are you excited about Huntress Spirit
I'm
Walker?
excited because I am going to get vengeance on trauma for every time I've died to the monkey slam. And I'm gonna take it out on every boss in the game by killing every boss with the monkey slam. Because the unique tame. And it's in the JSON file, the more recent one they released. At one point they did the showcase and they're like, oh, the Izmiri spirit thing is gone. In the new JSON file they gave, it has the Izmiri spirit again. So your unique tame beast will have the like a random rotating Izmiri spirit buff. And I was doing some testing with the tablets. You can add mods to unique mobs, and the tame beast cares about up to 4 modifiers. So I'm looking forward to having this is very spirit possession. They procced onslaught, and then hopefully I can give some like hasted mods to the monkey, and he's just gonna be just like on just I don't know what's exactly a good way to describe it. Cocaine. He's going all everywhere, just zooming around, slamming things. Bananas, yeah,
Monkey, let's go. But he's going bananas. That's right. He's going bananas.
yeah.
Do you think it will really be good? I have a hard time believing that.
I genuinely think it'll be good. I think they sandbag their showcase really heavily, and I also think they didn't necessarily try their hardest to make it like a good passive tree per se, and like leverage a lot of these benefits you could for the to make it do damage basically.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff didn't even probably exist when they were filming the showcase as well. So
Like I'll put it
probably
this
strong
way:
since then.
the showcase they gave, the monkey was moving the same speed it would when you normally run into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which to me, that indicates they didn't invest into any attack speed at all, and that makes a huge difference. If you've ever, like, run into PvE1, that is the obvious example I have, is you run into, like, a quad ghost thing, and all of a sudden that
True.
boss is, like, just doing things like crazy, and it's like, that's 100 attack speed, but it feels like it's an onslaught type of thing, so I'm pretty optimistic because there's quite a few attack speed sources we can get on it.
So you're just gonna play it like a pure summoner then, with like companion
It's
focus?
not. I wouldn't call it a summoner. I wouldn't use that word. I would say Pokemon
Companion.
master,
Mhm.
companion, not minion, completely different.
Sounds like a summoner to me, but all
Oh,
right.
I hate you, Ziggy, so much. You
It's
better
like, look,
watch.
it's completely
Keep
different
the
to
eyes
Spectre, where
open.
you take a monster and turn it into a minion. You take a monster and turn it into. Hold on.
I heard DM talk about weapon swapping, and you can summon, like, you can have one on one, and you like literally like Pokemon out one, and then
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, if
Oh,
you
so
because you
like
can have
you
multiple
clear one
tame
on your boss
beasts,
hand?
right? And you
uh-huh.
could say this tame beast is on weapon set 1, this tame beast is on weapon set 2, and let's say you have one that this unique boss is really good at clear, but its single target is kind of bad, and you have one that's really good at single target where its clear is kind of bad, and that you could do that weapon swap for sure.
Yeah. That's a very cool fantasy. I like that. That I like. That's right up my alley.
There is a whole other part of the Ascendancy
What?
that
Yeah.
does stuff.
Well, that's what I want to hear about because, like,
but it's not that
I would love-
important. Okay,
I would love to
It's
hear
not
about the other part of the Ascendancy that does stuff because it looked kind of cool. You're like spirit deers smashing through enemies and stuff. Like, tell me about the other parts of the
the other part of the
Ascendancy mode.
Ascendancy, I think, is actually fairly decently strong at, because, like, okay, so you have the stag part and the owl part. And the owl part's like, here, I'm going to give you some extra proj and some proj speed, which is pretty strong in its own right. But it has the condition of you need to roll to activate it, which is a little bit awkward. The stag has an attack based thing that can maybe double hit. I think there's a good chance it can double hit, which is some decent effectiveness, but it requires you to walk. They have like these two weird kind of conditions. I think the scenario you want to end up with if you're trying to build around these, you grab all three, where you get the special thing that gives essentially the stags the ability to kind of like target,
Yeah, there's like a
as
secret
well
mode there.
as the I believe it's the ground effect of your projectiles now give you like onslaught, I think, which is like a really nice benefit. And then the third one, the companion, gives you damage bypass, which I think opens up a really strong tank factor because the companion thing gives intimidate, which makes enemies deal 10% reduced damage as well as take 10% increased damage. 8% diversion. You can put loyalty on it or the lineage version, which gives recoup for all the damage that went to that companion. And you can basically force a bunch of tank stuff on it with this nice damage diversion thing for defensive use. And then you either specialize and say, I'm going into this more of this projectile angle with the second node on the owl, or more trying to make the stags better. And I think that gives you a decent package in terms of like an attack based character. The extra proj, onslaught, just with the ascendancy node, the loyalty gem, the node on the tree. Sarkonja's was one of the legacy runes. You're looking at like 30% damage directed to your companion. You put a bunch of tank like supports on him. He's going to be fairly tanky. Like, I feel like it's got a decent package to work with, to be honest. I'm not going to mess with that package because I'm just going to make the monkey hit everything. But I think it's got some
Well,
like legitimate build making
All right.
behind it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of awesome, and it certainly looked very cool in the reveals. But so for myself, a bit greedily, I don't know what I want to play. I don't want to just play Explosive Grenade again because I freaking love Explosive Grenade, but I need to stop playing it.
It would
Maybe I'll
be
play
really good
Explosive
with grenades. The
completely different.
proj.
No, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
I-
Okay, so I'll play something completely different. Explosive Spear. Okay, it's definitely not the same as Explosive Grenade. All right. If I was going to play Explosive Spear, would it be reasonable for me to play a Spirit Walker? Do you think, or do you think I'd be silly and there'd be another
Does
class I should
explosive spear
absolutely play?
benefit from extra proj? Do you get extra explosions?
I think you're limited by the amount of them that you can plant in the ground at any one time.
Like as a limit gem on it type of thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do more of those with like the support gem, but like you can have 2 down, 3
I could
max.
maybe see it with the stag in terms of like, but I don't know. I don't know if you get enough benefit out of, because like if you're not really benefited from the extra proj, I don't know if it necessarily pairs great if it is to have that limitation.
Dang. You reckon the monk would do better? Monk explosive spear, interesting.
I
What'd you
think,
do with
yeah,
monk on
I feel like
explosive
monk's
spear?
pretty generically good attack base wise.
Yeah.
What'd you do? What
You
would you benefit
will,
from on the
but the
monk?
thing, okay, so on monk, you do have to, so it's like, well, I mean, you can get the 3 generic ones. Wave the Mountain, Ruining Meridians, and the gloves. That'll just work. And then you just
Does
use
that just work with any other weapon type? I thought they were unarmed. Am I getting confused because of I was using them with unarmed
No,
in my thing?
they're just good.
They just work for anything. Okay.
This works for,
Yeah.
all this works for anything. And then you can just smack on the bell that spawns, and you just use it to call. You can generate a power charge. You can probably, you can use that as part of your charge engine, because you will need charges.
Do power charges become frenzy charges, or do endurance charges become frenzy
I think
charges?
power charges become endurance, I believe.
Yeah.
Dang.
And
Dang it.
you don't get the frenzies for explosive spear.
But you could just use like charge regulator.
Call the Weak
and
generates.
just-
You can just Call the Weak on them on the bells, right? Like I think they
Yeah.
are colorable for that. The point is
Yeah,
they're colorable,
yeah,
so
yeah.
the Call the Weak just works
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
And they buff Call the Weak too. I think they gave them like
True.
faster attack speed based
There
on.
you go.
So, okay, maybe I'll play an explosive spear martial artist. I'm kind of wild. It's not very on theme, but maybe interesting.
Just find a way to immobilize. Which is nice if you're playing explosive spear anyways to have immobilize. But that would be a good thing to get the buff going. And I think you will find that you'll just feel very strong very early. Just because it just comes online very
Intriguing.
fast. Yeah.
I've been saying I haven't played a monk yet, but I feel like if I play a spear monk, it's going to be kind of not really. It won't really count. But
Not really a monk, are you now?
Because I keep playing spears and I keep playing grenades. It's like I gotta play a different class. I know I'll play a monk with a spear, or maybe with grenades, or maybe both.
You know what?
And you can
what
parry
archetype
too.
like.
Woo!
I do like parry. Oh,
Yeah, I know, so I'm trying to sell it to you. See.
I'm a parry hater, but I've started to use it because it's too powerful.
I am a base parry enjoyer. You get to just embarrass bosses. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's even started feeling good on packs now. It's crazy.
It's too
And they're buffing it more.
strong. It's ridiculous. They keep buffing. It's ridiculous.
I
I'm
want
gonna
to use
buff it
parry
again
now.
too. I know for a fact they're buffing it again. Jonathan wants to buff it even more. I know it. Next patch is going to be parry buffs again. I'm going to play parry again. Sounds amazing. They also changed some other ascendancies. I didn't technically have this on our list of things to talk about, but is there anything of the other ascendancy changes you guys? People are talking like they looked good. The changes looked good. At least from my perspective. How have you guys digested those a bit more? Though that was just first impression.
I thought Chrono was very solid. Like it frees up some of your how you can build it. No longer forces you to do 8 points to get both the time freeze and the reset, which I like that in terms of like it gives you some more options to how to build it. And the Gemlin Legionnaire, I thought the change was like I feel like it didn't change too much. / it's just completely tied to whether or not the skill you want to play has a good alt quality to it. Which so that one kind of fell flat for me. Was the Gemlin one, but I don't know if you guys felt differently about those two or.
No, Chrono looks very cool. It's a very, very cool second character to play. It's kind of my feel.
You say that.
For me, it's the third character. My second character's gonna be Fist of Stones.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's like it doesn't give me that much like. I guess I'm sure some people will be like, oh no, but you don't know about like that setup, and I'm sure there's gonna be some setups. So yeah, I just don't know enough about Toronto to have like a strong thing that I know I will play.
Okay. Any other build related things? We kind of talked about defenses already, unless there's anything you guys want to add to that. Lance, you were mentioning the new passives. Did you end up putting any pictures in the Canva for that?
No,
Anybody?
I did not. I forgot.
Oh,
I
good,
have
oh,
all
good.
the passives.
Is there anything that stood out from the passives?
They're right here. You want to see? I even have them all highlighted. Look, that's all the new passives and the changed ones. This is everything that's changed.
Holy, that's a lot.
Right? It's a lot, right? I will highlight a few places for you guys if you're interested.
Yeah. Tell us what you think stands out.
So Monk got a new wheel, as you can see here. Fire Res, Chaos Res, Deflection, and Faster Initial.
Oh, cool.
50% reduced curse on you.
This wheel is so good, dude.
Yeah. 20 evasion energy shield and 2 res again. Like there's just so much power here. Yeah, it's very strong.
That wheel's gonna be on the heat map. I'm calling it now.
Look down here. Knights of Tarkus. 20 armor apply, so not like some random like lightning or cold or fire anymore. They're adding a lot of just generic armor applied, plus glory generation. Then we have even more of it here, plus deflection, and you have banner stuff. So this is like saying, hey, you should play Tactician. They're also adding this new modifier, reduced armor break taken. Now, I will say, having played
do you feel like you noticed that a lot when you played an armor character?
No, not at all. Because when you have a lot of armor,
really noticed it
you
or not it was
mitigate
happening.
so much. Like, so the thing is, when you get the modifier that breaks your armor, if you have enough armor, the hits are so small it can't break your armor. So it's really bad
That's
when you
funny.
don't have enough armor. Like when you're like mid to low tier, that's when it's really. That's why people are dying. That's why people are dying on
Sounds like a
hybrid.
design flaw.
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't the
mean
other way.
it's very weird this way, but yeah.
Funny.
So yeah, more deflections
I
of
was kind of
lots of
thinking, it's like, I
deflection.
don't feel like I noticed it too much on my character. So I might have been over the threshold of having enough armor for it not to matter.
Do you see it? Do you see the line?
Harry.
Barry debuff magnitude. Oh, cool. Over here, not just in the,
Yeah.
not just over to the right. Awesome.
Here's another one. Look at this one. Armor applies to chaos damage.
Oh, sick.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one.
Juicy.
Yeah. So that's a
Is
good
that gonna
one.
I feel like that's such a rare stat though. Is 20% really gonna feel like, I guess if you're already an armor character and you're looking for a little
I
bit more
mean,
tank to your chaos.
chaos starts to
I
get pretty, like, you get pretty tanky even just with the resist. You add some armor on top of that, and oof.
Yeah, because you go from having like it can very often be like you go from having nothing to having some, and that can be like 50 DR. If it's like a lot, if like, let's say
Still
there's
balanced
just
around that, right?
let's say you have tons of armor somehow, but all these like small chaos hits, you can't really do anything about it. All of a sudden, you might actually negate a lot of it. It's like it's
Yeah, okay.
it's. I think
of that, like,
chaos
shit
hits are
damage
very
coming
spammy. They're very they're not like big hard hits. They're usually just
Yeah.
very spammy. So I think
That's
it
true.
might be good. Vol Pact, but we know about this already, right? But it's very good. It looks very good. Oh, leech notes down here. Life. Some increased life notes here. Yeah, I like this. The leech stuff looks really cool. Over here, there's another. Basically, there are 3 quadrants of types of defense I want to highlight, which is
See, there's
the
life nodes on the tree. 1% increased
armor.
life.
Yeah, and then there's the new deflection stuff. I mean, they've buffed all the deflection basically, and they've changed the thing.
Isn't the formula better too?
Yeah, it is.
Or am I crazy?
You will, if you are investing a decent amount into deflection, and especially if you can apply blind, you will get the 95. Like, it is no longer something you can't get. You get it. And I would say if you play tactician, you get 99 point whatever that thing is with Lucky.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's actually
Super
reliable
juicy.
now. And
These look great.
then lastly, I just want to highlight here, they removed mana and energy shield over here, and now you have armor.
Oh,
So
making armor yes a bit better.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
specifically wanting to do that. Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
and then you have the
Nice.
recoup. So yeah, lots of changes. Lots of changes. It'll
Awesome.
change
Yeah, that's so much
quite a
more than
bit.
I thought.
Yeah. I think tactician is looking very juicy. Oh, lots of companion notes as well. Lots of companion
notes
notes.
actually.
really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. They
They
look very
are,
good.
yeah.
Forget
You
what
gotta
they
look at those
are,
if you have a
but
companion build.
yeah, they're
What's
very
that?
good.
Cool.
So
I said you'll look at those if you have a companion build.
yeah, I'll link
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
link
Look at them
this
otherwise.
for people if they want to look. There you go.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Nugi, did you say what you were gonna play? We know what Lance is playing.
I'm
I
playing
have an idea
bells.
now.
So
You're playing bells?
yeah, and the whole idea is I stack the 2 buffs that monk usually have, which is charge staff and staggering palm.
Yep.
And every time I attack, it shoots out 2 projectiles. Then you have the build 2 combo points, and all attacks can build combo points. So 2 projectiles comes out, that hits 2 times,
Yep.
that generates 4 combo points. How much does bell cost? 4 combo points. That means I place a bell down. Projectiles comes out, I place a bell down. Projectiles comes out, so I can just click bell. Nothing but bells. Hey, it's great.
Bell
But
master.
That's the idea. It's nothing but bells.
All right. Sounds sick. Look forward
Is
to
the
seeing it.
staggering palm charge staff, is that like pretty easy to get those online? I forget what the requirements are for activating those.
So charge staff is power charges, and I click mantra 1 time and I fire 5. Like once I get Aelith. Before that, you can killing palm. So
Yeah,
before that charge staff is a little annoying. After that, it's free. You even have too many charges at that point. So I could use it for something else, Flicker Strike, or Falling Thunder, or whatever. Staggering palm, super easy. because I'll have the one that spawns spells around me, so I'll just took, and then that's uptime forever.
Okay.
All right. We shall round out with some predictions to finish us off for today. After I realize we've been going for like 3 hours, apparently.
Jesus.
First prediction: most played class. Nugi, do you have a most played class?
What's Falcon playing? God damn it.
He's playing
Now you got to
Ranger.
do it off the top of your head.
He's playing what?
You betting on
Yep.
Flub Gun?
Yes. This type of round, I think I am. Because I think it's going to be such an even spread if he wasn't around and he just tips the favor. I think that's how it's going to go this time.
I'm betting on Martial Artist. I'm betting on Monk.
If it wasn't a monk, I would say martial artist would be the top. I just don't know. I think monk doesn't really ever appeal to the broadest number of people. So I'm going to go with the huntress. I'm going to go with huntress spirit walker. But I wonder if that has the same trap, though. I'm just not as clear about that. I just don't think monk gets there, even if it was like the best. I don't think necessarily the most number of people would play it. Just monk theme doesn't reach.
I'm just thinking Martial Artist is going to carry. My second would probably be Huntress. I just think a lot of people want to play the new thing, and I just think Martial Artist is the more.
People saw those twisters. Like, a lot of people just watching casually saw those twisters, and that's what they're going to play. Something like that. Most played skill. This one's a harder one, I think.
Oh.
Most played skill.
Okay, I'm gonna go last.
I guess to reinforce my earlier guess, I'm going to say twisters, but I think this is a long shot. I really don't know on this one, but twister is probably at least that first week maybe is most played skill, but I don't know. I think it's going to be close.
This is by like week 2 or something.
Yeah, I guess by week 2. I don't know by week 2. It might change again, but yeah, I'm even less sure. But I think maybe twisters. If we're not talking, yeah, we can't say herald of ice. That's cheating.
Like an actual your main skill is doing
an actual
damage,
main skill, yeah. Yeah,
that's tricky.
Week 2 is enough
Part
time
of me thinks,
could
okay,
change.
that's enough time for people to get cast on crit setups going again for Comet. But I don't know if it's actually enough time. I'm gonna bet on the Spirit Walker Enjoyers Tame Beast. There's no way, but I'm
No
gonna
way.
screw it.
Way. That would be pretty funny.
I was gonna guess that.
Really?
Okay. All
Well,
right,
but mine was like kind of a cheat because it's like everyone, a lot of people use it for auras.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
like part of
possible.
yeah.
Well,
But if
it's
a play,
like if they have it,
I think it'll get a lot of play though.
Whatever.
Okay, I'll guess most played. Welling Assault.
Welling Assault.
I think that might because it can be played on so many characters.
Yeah, and that with bells is going to be pretty lit, I imagine. That's probably yes. I think you might.
It's hard to know whether or not it's actually main skills because a lot of people use it as like just part of it, at the whole thing. So it's a bit like
weird.
Yeah,
because the whole every skill can be a 6th-link thing.
Yeah,
if it's the thing you're doing constantly as you run around, not like a spirit skill or something. This was your question, Nugi. Will endgame juices be fulfilled? So this wasn't specifically like, it wasn't something broader like, will people like the endgame on the whole, but like, will endgame juices be fulfilled? And I think 2 weeks might be enough time to answer that question, but also maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your predictions on will endgame juices be fulfilled, Nugi, with this new endgame?
By week 2,
what
they
does that
will.
mean?
Yes. So it basically there can't be a bunch of complaining posts from endgame players on like that. We'll just use Reddit as like a It's like if there's more positive posts about the endgame from people who juice than negative.
Yeah.
And it can't. Well, if it's like 50-50, then it's not solved. But if it's mostly positive,
when they start to appear, usually if there's like a bunch of negative things, that's when they start to appear. So if we start to see that trend, I guess we'll know. Assuming we'll be podcasting in 2 weeks. So give us an
Yeah.
idea. What about you, Lance? Do you think endgame juices will be fulfilled with this new from what you see in the endgame?
I think if we're talking about overall sentiment, I think it's gonna be positive. That's what I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say I believe in GGG that they did a good job.
I think the overall is going to be very positive,
Yeah.
especially that like first week or two for the like vast majority of people. The endgame juices question is much harder though, because like, what does it feel like after you get outside of all of the quest lined stuff in the
Yeah.
fortress? And I think there's going to be a lot more there, but that's gonna feel closer to the old endgame than you. There's just going to be a lot more stuff happening. So does that deal with whatever issues those people might have had back then? Maybe. I don't know. I'm a bit less sure about this. I think at the 2-week mark, yes. I think people will be satisfied at the 2-week mark. But we'll see again at like the
Give me
1
2
month
months to
mark.
start
Whether
really
they're like,
building the salt. This isn't
Yeah.
enough.
yeah, but yeah, I doubt in 2 weeks that people are going to be dissatisfied. So I'll say yes. I mean, it's a 3-way yes on that, just because of the time frame. But 1 month will give a
More the
longer
honeymoon
time period to. Honestly, 1 month is way longer than most people are going to play. So really, it's not a big deal if this happens. But yeah, 1 month, then I think people would be like, oh, now I'm having these problems, or I'm sure there'll be some. They've changed so much stuff that there's going to be some awkwardnesses. I'm sure there's going to be some unintended kind of problems or whatever. It's just too much stuff all at once. But the first 2 weeks is probably going to be pretty good. Final question: biggest monkey hit on record. I don't even know what like the. I don't even have like a broad ballpark for this question. It was like what is like the max hit that people do, and what's the max hit that minions do? I don't even have like a vague notion of this.
20 mil.
20
Going
mil,
to
is
going
that
that
a
high?
real number?
I'm one tapping
Yeah.
arbiter with my monkey.
Yeah.
You wait and see, buddy.
That's
Okay.
a
one tap
really
monkey is
high
coming.
number, though. That's really high.
What's yours, Nugi?
10.
10 damage.
10 mil.
10 mil.
All
10
right.
million. Okay, I'm gonna say 15 million.
Oh, shit.
Whoever's closest will
Watch
win
it end
this
up being like
prediction.
1 mil. Like I get a prism of disbelief. I have a sanctified +5 scepter. I have a mirror tier mace, and it's like, oh, 1 mil. That's it.
Whoever's closest. I was gonna guess 20 million and one otherwise. But maybe I should say 900. Yeah, 1 minus 10 million. I'm gonna say that actually. I'm changing my
Oh
answer.
my god, that's
1
that-
minus 10 million. 10
no.
million minus
What
1.
is that
So
guess?
yep,
Ziggy? What is that?
yep. 9,999,999. That's my guess. Whoever's
Wow.
closest will win this
That-
prediction.
Yeah.
All right.
You son of a bitch, Ziggy. Well, thank you, fellas, for doing a nice, long, fun podcast with us. We will probably see you folks again in a bit over 2 weeks, I imagine, for our follow-up,
Yeah.
find out how our predictions are, and there'll be a lot to discuss and digest. So, happy league start, everyone.
Good luck to you.
Happy
Good
league
luck to you.
start.
See you fine folks next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.